You have people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, on this planet ever, maybe in the universe. You have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for man not to achieve. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double pole inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, and you put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nano-technology, the nanomaterial which you have collectively developed in different ways, by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano and the plasma is all the same. So connection is very solid, it's very strong. The power of the plasma technology, the way we have thought, is beyond imagination of the man. Now you can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it, you are structuring it, and from today we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already become one planet. You got to remember one thing. Dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar, or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. We don't stop. We are working around the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
Welcome everyone to the 104th Keshe Knowledge Seekers Workshop. This marks the 52 times 2, which is 2 years worth of Knowledge Seekers workshops with Mr. Keshe, the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, and very happy to have been part of that for the last couple of years, and helping to get the original workshops going with Mr. Keshe, who suggested it from the plasma reactor group that I had where we had people coming in and showing their various reactors and experiments. So, Mr. Cash, are you ready to go with today's workshop? I understand you have lots of dynamite topics to bring up today.
Yes, good morning. Good day to you as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to these Knowledge Seeker programs. As Rick said, this started as a small participating in his program, some 108 programs before, and then when I was there, we suggested to do a separate thing totally, and this is the 104th program, 2 years. Summer, winter, Christmas, New Year, we've been there. We never stop going. And in that way, we have shared a lot of knowledge. We have brought a lot of comfort to a lot of people. And at the same time, a lot of people have started a new way of thinking and adding to the science of man. I think in so many ways, the combination of moving out of Belgium, where we were incarcerated, and coming in contact and coming across a beautiful man like Rick in his thoughts, has been a combination of the success of the Keshe Foundation spreading so rapidly. Even though we were in public, we were known, but the teachings has brought the knowledge across the world in a very, very simple way. We have achieved a lot, and in so many ways, now that we achieved a lot, we're sharing, and other people around the world, knowing and unknowingly, will be benefited by it. This week, we have signed in 5 new companies, all in the United States. 4 has been signed in, 1 is been signed, it just needs a adjustment on positioning, more or less. The 5 companies have come into birth. 5 companies in the United States will support the American nation in reducing the pollution, in increasing the use of clean energy, reducing their pains, and the rest which will come and is coming by the technology. Now we have a company in Germany, in Italy. Soon we will have a company which is signed in China, and the rest will be signed in when we are in there. And altogether now there is signed into Keshe Foundation about 9 factories across the world. By the end of the year will become around about 30, 32 as I see it. Maybe more. This is all on the back of you sharing the knowledge, you testing it, you bringing it more understanding, and we just putting it on the platform to share with others. I add to the knowledge and you build on it. And then you add to the knowledge, we build on it. And it's become a very good collaboration. As I said this morning in my interview with Kerry Cassidy in the, what you call it, open panel discussion. Foundation, as we knowledge seekers do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, has become an open platform for most of the people of the new generation of scientists, housewives, scientists, different organizations who've been looking for alternative way to do things that it could make sense. This morning's session, as I explained to Kerry, was a lot of talk about the free energy. Free energy became the word built up by one man, and it was good for him because that word brought him a lot of children. Now we see him as being behind prison and is well in custody. Now we come to the fact that there is no free, it's an alternative. We all, as team of scientists around the world, in different names and shapes of form, are introducing different way of alternative using the energy, be it in medicine, be it in agriculture, be it in power supply, be it in manufacturing of new materials, being in the space. So please understand, the term free energy is for those who were abusers. They wanted to abuse, and the abuse came because they got free children out of it. In so many ways, it's a new horizon. It's a new way. As I said, if nuclear is free, if oil is free, then plasma technology is a free energy too. We are a new way of energy which we knew but we didn't know how to tap into it. The CERN, the JET project, the Russian tokamak, these are all front runners of what we call the plasma technology which we added to. So we are accumulation of the knowledge of the man over years. No one of us, nobody can say, I've done this, I brought this out. I brought my way of thinking about the plasma. You bring yours, and collectively we add to the knowledge of the man. And this is the beauty of the way we've gone. With this process in past 2 years, we have seen how we have literally demolished the patent business. The patent is the right of the man to use it when they need it. And we have seen how, in so many ways, it has helped a lot of other people to tune into this, because the biggest problem with a patent, controlling it, is the biggest nightmare of every inventor, and that is 7 billion human beings on this planet. And only maybe 100,000, 20,000, 10,000, maybe a few hundred can replicate a technology. The rest, even though open, is done by the others because they don't know how to do it. The fear of pattern was created for those who wanted to control. Now we've seen a new way of pattern, what they call the structure of the wikis, the wickedness. Now they control the same thing in different way. We saw the first wiki going down, and we found out how. I thank you for being there, for sharing the knowledge, and for teaching us. Every day we learn something new, all of us. But the beauty with this technology is, it's not just the energy, it's every aspect of man's life in a space. So we all have something to add somewhere. We all have expertise in bringing something to add. It's not for non-energy people, it's not for the people who are in health, it's the one who's agriculture, and material, psychological, children, what you call it, application of the technology for learning. Everything is in there. So we are all become part of the family, teaching different children of the family, being a child, being a professor in physics, or a child of the foundation, being a doctor in a hospital, or the child of the foundation, be it a normal man on the street which can help himself. We are all children of the knowledge, and we are there to learn. And we all are part of this structure. The Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers Program is listened by world leaders. When we said it, a lot of people say he makes a lot of claims. We have seen it, response of the presidents into our actions. And we have seen how the help of the Keshe Foundation has managed to get rid of a lot of people who were creating disruption and destruction for their own benefit. This term of free energy was created by one man. The name was correctly chosen for him. And we saw his song. It was only to capture children. Nothing else. The technologies and the new knowledges are new people on the term of knowing it. They become what they call commentators because it put on, because it brings the youth, it brings the young, and then they prey on it. The structure that we saw how the double act played, and nobody was looking at it, was the capture of the gentleman in Utah. Now is claiming apparently it's coming to 300 children have been abused by him. Every time he saw an opportunity, he cleared the child for his abuse, and he was given a gift by the judge to do. He wrote to somebody in that area, I'm coming to see your invention, where the actual target was the child he was targeting to go to abuse. Now the pattern work is coming up. And there is a say, they ask a rat, did you eat the cheese? He says, no. He says, are you sure? He says, my tail is my witness. So we saw the rat in Utah and we saw the tail in Antwerp. Now that they are both, one is in prison and the other one is run because now it's filed for him because of his own claim that he actually pissed in the garden in front of the child. It's a criminal offense. The files, the criminal court is taking action in how many other children have seen this gentleman pissing. But now we got these two on the run and the German group supporting them. Now we've seen another double act. Come on, now two ladies. A false hope and a Suzanne. Suzanne in farce is a needle, the one which pokes you. And what has happened, these two are doing is the same act if you look. Two ladies who have no clue about the world of energy, now they call the Keshe Foundation with all the structure of you doing, and the factory is a scam. If you look, this was exactly the same. The false bird in Utah and his tail in Antwerp. Now we saw how the Suzanne, we call it, turns up in the office of the Keshe Foundation, who's got no clue, with a beautifully got a psychological dog. And then if you go to the false hope, she's helping the African children with psychological pattern. You see the connection? And the interesting is, the gentleman in Utah was the supporters of the false hopes which was given to the people. And now they're putting websites everywhere. People who have no clue about energy suddenly are supported because now they're on the run. I told you last 2 weeks ago, these people start doing a lot of damage. They knew their man in Utah is about to be captured, so they set up a new double act of pedophiles. We have communication here that the Suzanne asking one of Keshe Foundation supporters, can I have the picture of your daughter? Talking to them 2 or 3 times on the line. I want to open the panel. Any of you who are decent, do you ask for a picture of a child just because you spoke to somebody on the line? When we told you, they sit, Dirk, Eric, can you put that communication up? That where Suzanne asked for the picture of the child, of your daughter. Be careful with this woman. She's highly dangerous and she's well connected with the pedophiles. We have evidence. FBI and CIA are well into this situation. You don't ask for a picture of a child on the internet unless you have a thing to do. And Suzanne is asking for it to see where they can poke. We told you they're attacking your children. Be careful with these people. Secondly, the false hope. Now we have documentation from CIA and where it's coming in. We are funding psychological behavior of the children in orphanage in Africa. CIA tells us the Kingdom of Morocco has got into it. And they've given us a very nice piece of information the past week. Children are handed over to orphanage without birth certificate, without anything, because parents can't support. And as you know, when you don't have a birth certificate, you don't exist, you end up in Europe. Now, with us pressurizing with the arrest of what I call the Utah pedophile, now with this, we have come to a new understanding. Even the international police was aware of it. Now we show the source. That orphanages are getting used in Morocco to bring children into Europe. And false hope is structured, is on the website. So now we found out how the children are ending up in Europe. Don't forget, I go back into, listen to the communication of last week. There were 2 Moroccan girls in 1990s which were murdered by child abusers. It's known as the true case in Belgium. Now you got the message, helping in orphanages in Morocco. Be aware. A woman who cannot cook now is become a scam finders of the Keshe Foundation, and a woman who says was part of the intelligence service of United States is actually part of the intelligence of the European country which they're trafficking the children, and she asks for the children's photograph. Be careful very clearly who we are dealing with. Interpol and FBI in the United States are into these 2 beautiful double act now. And soon they will be arrested. The same way as we got the gentleman in Utah. But now we want to find out. There is a case sitting with CIA in respect to the girl who went missing in Spain, was trafficked to Morocco through the organization of the false hope into Europe. That child from age of 5 had not been seen. Now the file looks that our whole false of everything is well into criminal activities. So we warn you, it's our objective to clean up this mess that we can operate clearly. For the first time, we had a discussion with Kerry Cassidy about energy. We can discuss openly. We are weak, we are strong, we learn where we make a mistake. So we are coming to the point that we have to take the other part of the double act out of the circulation. People who have no clue about energy, they come and show. There is something we knew, there is a connection between Suzanne and False Hope, is that they came up with a paper from the Belgian police, which was created falsely by the Belgian police officer himself, when we went to Italy to get us back to kill us for the 4th time, that we put it on the internet with the advice of the Interpol and European Court of Justice, and immediately the gentleman had a big file to do, and there is no need for us to go to Belgium. So you see how they said they have a warrant arrest for Interpol. This is, if you were not with Keshe Foundation, you see this is, oh, the guy's got a criminal police report. This is a false paper which we ourselves put on the internet, and within 24 hours, the German police officer was part of the Peter Fall gang, withdrew his everything else because he knew the supreme, what you call, chief of justice in Belgium would not sign it into the hand of the police Interpol. So this is a false paper. Now we see it coming up through again Suzanne showing it, because they're part of the same organization. You don't understand it, then they go, they say they have an Interpol arrest. We put this to stop red circles, to get us back into Belgium to kill, and it worked the way we were advised by the Interpol. So what I advise you, please don't give the name and emails or a Skype thing of your wife, your child, your colleagues to anyone. We have come and advised that a new scam by these people has come into. Why they need your child, why they do. Remember Alex, when he was threatened with a child to be killed, they went through the mobile phone of the child. The call went to the mobile. What apparently is on the internet, you can buy it yourself, is a program that you can open the camera of the children's mobile phone. And then they take pictures of your child, of your own, and then they send it to you to threaten you. This is what they've done with all the scientists. Now, with collaboration with CIA, with the other intelligence services, we are unraveling how False Hope and Suzanne and the guy in Utah and the Red Circle and this operation in Germany are working. And then they think they've got something on your child, because what they've done actually, you give the address, you give your email, they break into your computer through a Skype, find the picture or address or telephone number of your child. They use the mobile of the child, which is used tonight, and they put it back to you. You say, how can they got the picture of my child? Today, this is the dress I bought last week. Because, my darlings, Suzanne works with the most sophisticated nanotechnology secret service in Europe for pedophilia. Now the picture is setting up very well. So please, I even discussed it this week. Put a aluminum foil, small aluminum foil with a black tape in front of the camera of your children's, your laptop, your iPad, the back and the front. These people who threaten you, they're going to kill you, they're actually using your own camera in your hand, because you don't know there is such a program built. It's been built apparently by the Belgians in the background for this job. So we advise you, as one nation, one planet, one race, we are looking after the human race, all of us. Since we announced the situation last Thursday with the rest of Utah and the killing of the judge, whatever they've done to themselves, is their problem, and knowing that Red Circle is on the run with his team in Germany, we have even found, we have communication copies that the gentlemen in Germany who work with the gentleman in Red Circle in Antwerp are communicating with the officer which produced that letter which Suzanne has put on the internet. We have a copy of all your communications. I have to call Mr. Blah blah now. So we have a full circle, we know how they operate. Please protect your children. You have mobile phone immediately. You need to have, don't use a white tape. You can use a small square of aluminum foil. Use a plaster you use for your children to cover their wound. Cover their camera, both front and back, even your laptop. This is a program they've written and they come into your operation. First of all, they come in, they take everything, and then if you, most of you use Skype, you notice in the past few months you're getting a lot of attacks, your work computers are getting wiped out and problem. These are the people who are coming in and they're doing it. And it's all done by Suzanne. You know, Suzanne in Persian means a needle. You poke and you do what you like. So we know she's a pedophile. There is no doubt about Suzanne, because she's asking for people's pictures of their daughter. Somebody you spoke. How many of you are decent people, go and piss in people's garden, and then you ask the other ones for the children's pictures, your daughter's picture? We can release it. This is becoming as part of our file with Interpol and the rest. Now the file has started on a false hope, which now the Moroccan royal family lawyers have got involved in, because it's their children which are going missing. People who cannot even cook, now they become scammers. We become scammers for them, because you understand why they're going bankrupt. Because Mr. So-and-so in Utah has gone, the income has gone. Nobody wants children at the moment till they find another nest hole, which is what they built now. A scam, cash foundation, and the rest of it. We invite you to make more, because we want to see who's coming on your net. I told you for 6 months, Interpol, CIA, FBI, Russian intelligence, they sat on all the communication which was made with the Red Circle and the Utah guy and all the people who went there to pick. And when they got it out, a judge killed himself, because they had everything in their computer. They know which child they like and their behavior. So this is nothing to do with us, but they are using us and what you bring to teach us to bring children in for their abuse. Now we're breaking into the circle of the same thing. These two women never existed. Suddenly, since the Utah man was on the run, they created this to scrape. Why? It's the same. Look at the same wording, just different name, different address on email. The same as what happened with Red Circle. These people have killed enough of our children, and now we speak and we stand for. We have filed directly a man who has written all the things written on the internet, it's been photographed, that yes, I pissed in the garden. So if you did in front of your child, according to international, it's a criminal offense, but in Belgium it's normal, because you've done the same thing with your daughters. And you've done the same thing with your grandchildren. You can do it in your house, whatever you like. Not with my child, not in my time, sir. The same with Suzanne, and the same with false hope. They all came together when we disturbed the pack. The children are getting stacked up in Morocco, cannot be taken anywhere, because not everybody is watching Morocco. Just go, we release communication that I have a psychological doc. We never heard of it, but now we know there's a psychological doc with Suzanne. We have it in black and white. We release all the communication. We've done it with the Interpol. And then if you read the false hope, we work for the psychological help in Morocco. You see the connection again? These people are well organized. It's for us to bring them to justice. CIA is on top of it. The royal family of Morocco have been well informed, and I wanted to know if you know the real name of false hope is a Moroccan name. Check. Not American. There is as much blood of me, American blood, as is with a false hope. So now you see how you're abused. Because it gives a good name, we can get a lot. So please check. Do not donate. We do not go out for getting people, but we go out when we see our children are in danger. Even you are in danger. Cover your mobile phones. We do it. Anybody who's been with Keshe Foundation around us, we are all covered for a long time. We were aware intelligence services are doing it, but now we understand even the pedophile has been given the technology to use it. And it's on the internet, you can buy the program. And watch what your child is doing when he says, I'm home, mama. But these people are doing it to thousands of us. And the first thing they do, they come through the program called Skype. Do not use Skype on your laptop. Androids, they haven't managed to break into. The Skype, they come in and they take your own picture and you panic. How did they get the picture? My darling, it's a program. You can buy it on the internet. We're going to release the connection. You can all go and buy and watch each other. So please understand. Let us clean up this mess. First of all, there is nothing called free energy. Understand the word free energy was created by the pedophiles to bring children. And then when one lot gone, a new double act has come out. Nothing to do with Keshe Foundation, nothing to do with nobody else. Is because you understand, I was explaining this just recently. They have abused us for so long that they see it as their right. We are stupid, we haven't found out up to now. Now we are into it, they don't know what to do with it. We do not change our position, and in a very short time, we will receive the support from governments and through Interpol. Red Circle is already in the courts, it's already in the hand of the Interpol because he's confessed, he has shows his, doesn't matter, we don't know if he's a woman or a man, but he was in my garden in front of my child. The admission is black and white, it's finished. That's a pedophile case. He's done it himself. Now go to Antwerp and find the guy and says, have you shown it to my child? Where are my children? While you were showing it, they haven't come back home. And the same with Suzanne, and the same with the false hope. These four know a lot of children where they're hiding, or the structure of the bone is. So the circle is opening because we start defending ourselves. And in the run, they're making mistakes. We have made a very good bargain with a couple of intelligence services. And they come up with our bargain very soon. There are 4 people which we need to be submitted to European Court of Justice. And those people, they know who they are. Their name partially has been announced in some of the medias. And they're all sit in one country in Belgium. And Red Circle is named in that list. Hand over yourself to the security services, not in your country, into the European Court of Justice prison in Den Haag. That's the only option we have agreed. We are negotiating very closely. The only option left is to go to Den Haag, hand yourself over. The names are published in American press. And the name of the victims are published in French magazines. Children which has gone missing. And the others are on the run. A lot of people made a program that, look, they are showing the Interpol arrest. And if you can read Flemish, it says on top, from the Belgian police, from the same office where the supporters of the Germans sit with the same name. We release all these things, are documented, ready to go to the hearing in the court when it sets up soon. And then they play the game. And you look at the face, it's a pedophile face. So please, is my responsibility as a head of the Keshe Foundation, because I bring you here to give you the knowledge through other people, to protect you the same as I give you the knowledge. My technology is safe, so our website, our knowledge internationally has to be safe. For the first time, people start making programs which make sense to be part of, and we've seen it, the first discussion today with Kerry Cassidy. We support Kerry Cassidy from now as long as she stays correct and her site does not become another abuser site. We are monitoring it very closely. And anyone on this channel or a Keshe Foundation YouTube or anywhere puts a telephone number or an email or address, we block you. You'll never be able to participate. Because if you're friends, it's different thing. If you're fishing here, you can go and fish in prison, the way it's done in Utah at the moment. So please understand very clearly. Do not, they use women now to get to the man, to get to their children, because men can go weak because she talks sweet. And after 2 meetings, 2 talks on the line, can I have the picture of your daughter? We have it. We got it in black and white. So please be careful with Suzanne. It means it's going to prick you very bad, and then when it hurts, it's too late. You lost your child because she's already sold it. And she has to deliver. So please, it's my job. We do not go every Thursday morning. If you have a development, we explain to you. We have filed against Antwerp because this is no discussion, there is no debate. Pedophilia is confirmed. I piss in the garden in front of a child and write a poet about it, so to me it's normal, is not because the guy in Utah made videos about it. I can't have a child more than 30 seconds on my lap before I play with it. This is all in the hand. It's going to be in the court in Utah. This guy is going to spend a lot of time with his friend in the red circle. So we are not making allegation. He's written it. We copied it. It's in the hand of the Interpol. Now we are packing up his interactions. It's getting done. What I told you we have been doing with Utah, it took us 9 months. Now a circle is so big, we don't even know if we can find a prison to put all these lights in. 25,000 pedophiles. It was the biggest pedophile gang up to now ever done internationally. And it's headed, actually monitored by Utah, headed by Red Circle. And it's so normal to them. And I'm writing to the family. Can we know, has he pissed in front of you? Or has he played more than 30 seconds with a child on the lap with 2 daughters in the family? So we're not making an accusation. We have, in black and white, we are filing a case. The case is getting ready. And it's for why do you need to piss in the garden in front of 2-year-old child? Not once, in numerous times when the child was alone in the garden. So please do not, under no circumstances, even go on the website or when you see False Hope or Suzanne. Because they take your IP sold, your children are for sale. Now, we go back to our education. This is why we are here. We educate you about the ethos of the crew work. Now we teach you about ethos of science. In the teachings of today, in the morning when I was with Kerry Cassidy in this program, we saw a gentleman. Apparently I've been told he's a regular listener here. He can introduce himself if he likes. He has brought you some news which was interesting to see. Is Robert around, Rick, that he can introduce to us to say who he is? This is coming on the back of the building of the reactors, the, what do you call it, the maglev core system.
Yes, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, is that Robert?
Yes, I'm here.
We're getting a feedback.
I'm sorry, I'm just on my phone. One moment. Is that better at all?
It is? Yeah. No, I still hear myself.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe turn off or down your volume on the mic, on the speaker.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Hello?
Do you have a speaker on, Robert?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, turn it off.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Yeah, the only other option is a Bluetooth, and I don't think it works very well.
You turn on just your microphone rather than the speakerphone? Or the what do you call
Maybe
it?
you have two units open.
I don't have that option on mine. No, I'm sorry.
No, are you near another system?
Yeah, I can jump on in just one moment.
Okay, switch one off and jump to the other.
Okay, in one moment.
Did you want to show a video or whiteboard or something there, Mr. Kesh? Are we going to
No,
show
we can
something else?
keep it. No, let's go
Okay.
through this and see what others have, and then we're going to teach.
I'll run the video here.
Are you there, Robert?
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's gonna take a second. I've got to start the computer.
You sound
So
good now.
Yeah, it sounds
Is it
good
good?
now, Robert. Yeah, it's no
Okay,
feedback
great.
now. So whatever you did worked. You know,
Awesome.
it's just a prayer. It worked.
That's what it was.
Okay,
There you go.
yeah.
It works better than the real fixes.
Okay, carry on, please. Explain who you are and what you're going to show us, because what I saw is quite impressive. Quite impressive
Yeah,
on any standard.
I sent it to Rick a couple of days ago on Carolina's recommendation as well. So Rick has that as well. If he can show it.
Well, where did you send it? Where did you send it to? On my email?
Messenger.
Messenger. I don't usually.
You gotta start learning how to use that messenger. Somehow you get everything through.
Well, see, I'm getting messages from 3 or 4 of Carolina's groups, and there's multiple messages from many, many people, and I have to turn it off because otherwise I get literally hundreds of emails a day, and I cannot take it
Caroline, you
anymore.
better stop that.
So,
I've just told her off very, very strong words. You better stop this.
well, I can't do it because my neck and back just can't take it anymore. My arm and neck and back are trash from doing that, so I just can't do it anymore. Yeah, I'll try to find it here. Just a minute.
What is the title of it?
Yeah. Sorry, I just figured that is probably better than me trying to turn on the video with having bandwidth or whatever the problem was.
Okay, can you explain to us so we can find this?
Absolutely. I have my residential service electricity bills from November until now.
First of all,
No.
tell us who you are, where you live, that we can add everything up together.
Yeah, my name's Robert Stubblefield, from Utah.
Oh my God, Utah again!
I know, yeah. We've actually got quite a few people involved up here. I've done a small workshop, and we've made well, at least 8 magraphs there as well.
You didn't have the gentleman coming to pay you a visit by any chance to see if your system
No.
is. You're a lucky
No,
one.
thank you.
Thanks God. Okay, carry on, please.
Okay, yeah. I've got my bills from November up until now for my residential service, and in November we used it's
Can you
November.
tell us what you use? What is what you're using first?
The electricity bill. The very first month, November, was 2,412 kilowatt hours.
Yeah,
Total?
but what you're using? Can you please explain to us? We don't know. How do you know the Cash Foundation, and what did you use to get to these figures, please?
Oh,
Maybe I can show it. But can you tell me which group it was exactly out of the different groups?
It's just directly from me, Rick.
I mean, which group did you put it in?
I didn't put it in a group. I just sent it directly from Robert Stubblefield.
All right. I don't know how to access.
Okay, carry on, Robert.
Okay. I actually started October 26th. I took a little bit longer than some, and finished it
from
about.
the teaching of the blueprint.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I went through the blueprint teachings, and then had some questions, and so I just went back and started watching videos from the first one. and ended up finishing it in about mid-November. And so that's why I started keeping the bill in November this year.
Mm-hmm.
The first month in November, we used 2,412 kilowatt hours.
Is that normal
Uh,
for you? That kind of usage?
It's pretty normal for this house. We actually started to use wood in our heater at first, in our wood stove. And then
Why?
after we received the bill for December, which was only 1,471 kilowatt hours, we switched back to the electric heater, so I didn't have to pay for the wood because it's about $100 a
So,
month.
so the 2000 whatever was you still using wood on top of that bill.
Yeah,
So, okay.
it
Now
actually
you gone
wasn't that.
back fully, are you gone back fully on the electric now?
Yeah, we're fully on electric now.
Okay, so okay. The first bill in November before you install was 2000, how much?
2,412 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
And that it wasn't actually that cold in November until the end of November.
Yeah.
And then when I received this second bill for 1,471 watts,
Just wait 1 second. Can you see my whiteboard or do you see my browser?
I
Rick,
see your white.
you see it. So
Let
your
me.
first
I've
bill,
got the picture. Found the pictures here, if you would like, of the.
okay, we'll come to you in a second. Just we
Okay.
come to you, Rick, then you can put it up. The November bill was 2000,
412.
yes, US dollars, yeah?
Yeah. No.
And,
Kilowatt hour.
pardon?
Kilowatt hours.
Kilowatt hours, okay.
Yeah.
So kilowatt hours, okay, kWh. Let me clean up because we don't need to, what do you call it, to make a thing wrong, okay. So we have this here that is, you had, which one? I have to go to the pen. So you had, what is going on here? I'm gonna go a bigger one. Okay, now we are. You had 2,420 kilowatt hour of use in November. Okay,
Yes, that's.
and in
In
December,
December we had 1,471 kilowatt hours.
but you were using more electricity.
No, that's not the. Yo, yes, we were using more electricity because
We went from the wood.
it got 11 degrees colder
Okay.
in December than it was in November as well.
When did you install the system? In November.
Yes, I installed it in November.
You installed it in November, okay. So you saw the first reduction in December. And what is your January bill?
And then the January bill, just one moment, I'm sorry, is 100.
Pardon?
It's 839 kilowatt hours. It looks like. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So if we look, you're down by 60% more or less.
Yeah,
You're
61%, I believe. That's what I was just looking for. I've got it all written down.
Okay.
Precisely.
So what are you using? Using the stacker unit the way we showed in the blueprint?
Yes, I'm using the stacker unit. In December, I actually made quite a few more after I got that bill as well.
So your electricity bill, how much is this? How much was 2,412 kilowatt? How much is it in dollar? How much did you pay bill there?
$298 there.
$298. And how much is your payment bill for January?
New charge is $103.99.
$103. So in a way, you're saving just about $195.
Yes.
If you multiply it by 12, it's nearly $2,200, $2,400 a year saving.
Yeah, correct. I also wanted to mention that it's not just one stacker necessarily, though, because I've had several of them plugged in at a time. Sometimes, right now, I got two, but
okay. But in a way, it's nothing else. You're not using anything else but the stacker unit, the technology, cache management technology, to reduce your consumption. Okay, so we are in line, because one of the reasons you see this, with you have a double phase system in United States. Yeah, so you see 66 or 60%. If you have a single phase like in Western Europe, you see 30%. Now we are testing in a as I said, in a factory, not a factory, in a school, in a chiller, and we're hoping to receive just about 90% reduction in the three-phase system. We're working on it. We don't know yet. It's only 4 days. It's a three small units and a huge what you call refrigeration, what you call chillers for the school, to keep the whole school cool in the heat of the, what you call it, Dubai. So we see this is paid, and this is a copy of our own blueprint, which you got in the blue boxes. So you understand, there is no false claim and there is no scam. And this is a man who's made it himself. We see a lot of these things. Vince, would you like, sorry, Rick, can you show us, I stopped sharing, can you show us his bills that we can see it? You
sure.
got it.
Okay, so this. Now I'm not clear on which one's which here. There's this one.
Yeah, is that the one?
It's a little blurry, but you can kind of see that one. And there's another one.
That's the historical data. It's the bill with his name on top of it, what it showed us today.
And then there's the other one here that shows the 3 months with the kilowatt hours used.
It's 2412. That's what it told us. We don't see the bottom. Can you lift it up a little bit? We don't see it. We don't see the 800.
the meter readings on this one, you can see that each meter reading lines up with the previous one as well.
Yeah. I see that. You're correct. It's exactly 46531. 46531, and it goes to 48002, and it follows on. You're correct. So this is your electricity bill.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Is there another one?
What was that? We're getting feedback again. If you can mute when you're not speaking, Robert, that'd be best. There's another bill as well, Robert. I think you mentioned it's from someone else.
Yeah, that's somebody else's house that I just put it in January 1st, so it was easy to track. But I can show that one as well. It shows that it was colder this year for the average daily temperature, and he used about 25% less on his as well.
25%.
And also January was colder than December. You can see that on the other bills that I have up there. And so
we can see. Yeah, average per day has dropped from 46 to 34.
Yeah, also, Rick, if you put the one up with the graphs, the 3 graphs, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can show it here. But it's very interesting to note that on the last bill that they sent me, the 2 previous ones just had the normal rhetoric. If you find yourself in a position...
Can you show us, please? Can you show us yours, which one you're talking about?
Just a second.
Rick, stop sharing. Let him show.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to share a screen?
Yeah, he'll have to turn the video on. It stopped.
Okay.
Okay, just a second. Are you able to start your video there now, Robert? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he comes. Okay, Robert, can you, what do you want to show us on the graph?
Yeah, it's actually the verbiage that's below the graph. I may have to turn this down. I'm sorry.
It's upside down.
Okay. Now it's mirrored backwards, or is it okay to you guys?
It's okay, but it's bad blood. You got to keep it steady that we can read the number.
Okay, this is what it says on both of the others is if you find yourself in a position which you are unable to pay your electric bills. Anyways, it just goes through rhetoric there. On the most recent one that I received, got a whole different tone to it here.
What does it say now?
Okay, this one says, please consider helping your neighbors in need of energy assistance by using the tax or the enclosed envelope to make a tax-deductible donation. So now they're seeing that it's dropping and asking me to help others who can't pay for their own.
It's fantastic. You already have. You've given to your neighbors 28% reduction, 25% reduction. This is fantastic. But you got to look. But you got to look. You're an American. America produces, or on average, between 10 to 11 million barrels of oil a day. And on the back of it, you import something about 4 to 6 million barrels from different countries. If your government, who's trying to make saving to support other activities of your country, and they won't use the money surplus for what I call wars, it makes a very, very interesting reading. This is what I explained to the Italian officials, and it just hit them straight away in the face, exactly why and how we found support in Italy. Look at this. This is very interesting. You have saved $198. We say 50% of this is the cost of fuel. The other 50 is profit and the charges. That is, let's say, for sake of being round figure, you save $100 in a month. Sorry, yes, it's $100 in fuel. The fuel which your nation had to import. If 1 million American houses are helped with this system, that now we set the 5 factories to do this, you save your nation 100 million. That's per month. In a nation which is going bankrupt because of under death, in 1 year, you see the figure adds up very nicely to 1 billion.
And we create a situation where people have more money in their pockets to spend on the goods that are created here too.
You see now how the figure adds up. I explained this to the Italian officials, they understood immediately. What is here is for the saving for the nation. And if you add, let's say, we said 1 million houses, add, let's say, we can support, you have something like 300 million houses in the United States. If you can support 100 million of them in next 5 years, you add 2 zeros in front of it. 100 billion a year saving for a nation, just on fuel. This is only on heating. Look at what can happen, the same kind of reduction in your motor industry. There you hit every American household. You're talking another 300-400 billion. The saving for the nation can pay for most of the debts of the nation, which is escalating. And then you add the same thing with your healthcare, which is run out of control with the pens and the pads. Keshe Foundation technology will shift the nation which is in the process of bankruptcy into prophethood. To become profitable, to become what it should be as a solid nation. And this is one technology. This, when the officials understand what's on the table, now you know why the Chinese are greeting us with open arms. Because they did the calculation, they understood the calculation. It's not that the oil industry is going to be destroyed. The oil industry is already destroyed. Because people can't afford paying. Fuel has brought bankruptcy to the nations. Now you don't need to. The figures, if your government understand, is black and white. You don't need me, you put it on. Now we have signed in 5 factories in the United States to go into production. We estimate they should reach a production between 5 of them between 100,000 to 200,000 a month in the coming year. Then you can see how we'll make an inroad in Keshe Foundation supporters and manufacturers to write off the death of a nation. And it's in black and white. We don't need to go anywhere. We're not speculating. This is what we say. Okay, we save this amount of money that it pays for national debt. But what about, instead of throwing the saving away, stop spending on war machines? That the money can be spent on the nation. Better schools, better care for the elderly, better environment for people to live. This is what hit the Italian Prime Minister saw it and is gone for it. The oil industry has come to its climax. There is no more they can take us for ransom because alternative energies are there. And all of them, most of them are coming through the back of nanotechnology and plasma technology, which we have introduced partially. There are other scientists who are contributing into it as well. We have become an international workforce, scientific workforce that cannot be ignored. And that's why I told in Kerry Cassidy, watch us in the next 4 to 6 weeks. You see how the government who understand these figures opens the door for them. The oil nation companies are running to the Keshe Foundation faster than non-oil producing countries because the $100, $120 per barrel has gone to 25, 29, if you can get it. The revenue will not come by selling. Now the revenue will come by saving, and this is a direct saving. And the beauty of it is, you create job with it. And as Robert said, the money you have now, you can spend more on your national products to boost the nation. This is a direct boosting of funds of a nation. If, and we said, we're going to come into operation in June, July with the American election. You watch when it's done, I tell you how. The man who supports this kind of saving for the nation and supports to use the saving for a peaceful actions for the nation, not to go into arms, and it does it open transparency, will get the support of the Keshe Foundation supporters in the United States voting. We already know roughly which candidate we're going to put up. Well respected amongst American nation. On the platform of peace, saving on energy, saving on fuel, saving on healthcare, on the back of a new technology, giving America a new chance to stand. And the way I told you before, people in the United States or no nation will say no to guarantee new job, new industry. All the old industries are dying. As a politician said, this is the breath of fresh air we've been waiting for. And all this was more or less was getting modeled up with all this scam and everything else by the guy in Utah and the Red Circle in Antwerp, and then now the double act. For you not to see, because if they could keep this going, they had the children and they were well paid. Now you see the figure, 198 in 1 month, $200 in 1 month. You put $200, let's look at the figures in a different angle, totally. You put $200, that's $2,500 roughly per family, multiplied by how many families are in the United States? 200 million? Multiply this, you have 300, 400 million population. Let's say half of it are the families or the people who do. If you have this with 200 million families, add up the figure. You do not need to be genius to add taxes or reduce taxes. 3 and 3, 6. 3 and 3, 6. 3, 9. And then you go one lot there, one lot there, one lot there, and go by 20, 50. That is a 500 trillion. I want to know which member of the election team, be it any of them, will say no to this. Peace for energy. Now you understand why was the conference in Rome. Energy in exchange for peace. And you see the saving for a country. We are talking for the figures which is on the table. We don't know. Look at the corporations, how much they save in these huge buildings, big factories. This is just a common man saving. Very simple. 1, 2, 3. That's your first 3. Your second 3 is here. 1, 2, 3. Your third zeros are here. 1, 2, 3. Now you still got one more 0 left, and 2 by 25 is 50. Okay? Now you calculate your saving for your nation. Literally, in 1 year, American nation walks out of debt. 500 billion US dollars. Made, saved by the Americans for their own nation, that they can spend it back in their nation. Do we need wars when there is such a beautiful technology sitting on the table? The ones who want to take this saving to buy more arms to kill, what's the use for them? The same factories which are making arms can produce these technologies plus the space. You do not know what we put on the table last Thursday, last Tuesday. Watch the last Tuesday. The universal food system can save you even more to import food, because now you don't even need food to eat. It runs in trillions. Now you see the power of the technology, not on us, on the American electricity bill from one house. And most probably, this is not such a big house.
And more importantly, for some of us, no one goes hungry. Hopefully,
No
if we place them properly, no one goes hungry. You know, you can save $100 trillion a year, but it's not important if somebody's going hungry on the street.
I wonder, would any of the two presidential candidate front runners will exchange their seat for what man we are going to put up? We are talking to the background with the people. We are looking. We know who we're going to put up as the next president of the United States on the basis of these bills. Nothing else. We bring bills, electricity bills, health bills, people with the cancer which survive, and in June, July, we enter the American election on the basis of technology for peace. Now you understand how powerful is, now that we have taken the scammers out of scamming. This is American data, not ours. We don't build it. It's a small man in Utah. $2,500 per year saving. That's only in the house. You put another $2,000 on the fuel once you use a maglev system on the car. You put another $2,000-3,000 per year on healthcare, which you don't need to. A pen will save your life from the pain. And then you put on top maybe another $10,000 saving on food, where you don't need to eat, where you can supply energy from. The bill runs in trillions. And this is a moderate family, not the noble rich family, American, who are in the top. Then you see how many houses we'll have. would we change the churches into homes? There are enough churches, empty properties that can feed all the homeless people in the United States. I don't understand why they live on the street. Open the churches and all the properties which are owned by the churches in US, you have no homeless. You have surplus of homes. And give them a unit that you don't need to do anything with it. They have the electricity, they have the heating, they have everything you need. You create a new generation of employment, a new generation cycle of life made by planet Earth for members of his nation. Now you understand how we're becoming one planet, one nation. These figures, when the politicians see, understand. This is why I put it down this way. I explained to you last week or this week, in the peace process with Iran, the head of Senate, when right committee of the Senate for opposing the Iranian peace was going full blast. We're going to oppose it, it will not pass the Senate. I put one thing to the member of the Senate in the discussion, like very much what we did with Kerry Cassidy today. You tell me, the peace process with Iran brings between 5 to 20 million jobs into the United States. Which member of Senate is going to oppose it? And we saw within days, the same as the Utah man walked to the FBI, the head of the opposition of the Senate to Iranian peace resigned because it made sense. Politicians understand this. When you look at these figures, to you, I saved $198, $150 in 1 month, but the politicians look at the national figures. This is where it hits. That is where your job is across the world to show your governments, we are saving it for ourselves. We don't want to kill anymore. Killing has brought us nothing else. Wars and armies have brought us nothing else. When we opened the Eastern Bloc in Europe, we saw all the borders went down, all the soldiers in armies of Germany, France, Britain, Eastern Bloc, Czechoslovakia, they all disappeared. Everybody says, what are we going to do with these soldiers? Where are the soldiers? They all got employed in another industry, in another way. Do we need armies to spend to kill? No. Because with this, at least we can start a new process. This way, everybody is equal. Japan cannot be more ahead than China, and China cannot be more ahead of than US or Africa, because the Africans are ahead of you. We've seen it with Benjamin last week. So we have become one nation. We have become one planet. And we care about our race as a human race in the space. And that's where we are going. You put this figure into 1.5 billion Chinese. It's a staggering figure. That's why we are the guest of head of nations in the next 2 weeks in China. We respect the Chinese army with full operation, because we know it's the army of people. It's not there to army to kill. They tell me, why are you working? Because I have every respect for China. I've worked with them, across the table for 20 years. Army, Chinese army is not a military force, it is a nation force. And now they see the opportunity, we support them. I translate full technology. I've made technologies which is not in public to be handed over as a gift for their move in that direction. The same as you see, you multiply that 200 million people in the United States, the saving is no different in China and the rest. They all are human, they need the heating and the electricity. But multiply that 200 million by 5. You see how the figure changes on the other end. You see the saving for the Chinese government is a major oil importer, fuel importer. You will see where we are going. And now slowly, we can show the benefit of the technology. I took patience, I took a lot of rough time. I stood 4 murder attempts by Red Circle, poisoning my child and my wife, but we seen it's worth it. How many other scientists being killed to be able to get to the position we are? We do not know how many Red Circle has put into death and how many of the children has raped in front of their eyes to get what he wants. The white hair has a lot of black heart. How many German children had to pay? Now you put this into hand of Germany. German chancellor understood this years ago. We received a 500 million backup from the German chancellor for transforming the Belgium car industry in Antwerp from General Motor to take the technology back into Germany, that they could do it. And amazing enough, who was present? Red Circle. Everything went. German government, take this to them, they support you. Your chancellor knows about cash technology fully because she understood it years ago. But so much rubbish was put in by Red Circle and the negative publicity. Now we got their man, now we get their king. Germany needs this technology like water. Your nation is solid, is perfect. German engineering is undoubtedly the best perfect technology in the world. They are the best people. I have been brought up amongst German technology with Siemens and Philips. You have the best scientists, engineers on your land. Now share it with the rest of the world. We're giving you the time, and I put a lot of effort into German Keshe Foundation manufacturing first thing. I have not done that with any of the others because I know we are supported fully within the German government. We were supported a long time ago, but negative information through Red Circle, because you don't understand one thing you never understood. They said to them all the time, our man is sitting next to him, he's not worth it, he's all wrong. Because the man was sitting next to me, they could believe them. Now, our man is all of you sitting with your government, and the Red Circle on the run. So please understand what the change is going to come. This is one house. We are not overshooting. 5 companies are signed. They come into production in the next few weeks in the United States. Support them. It's for you. It's American job, American support, American workforce, American saving, but make sure your government understand. With this time around, no more wars. We handle the Rothschilds. We are strong enough. We will handle Illuminatis. We are strong enough. We make sense to them to see they don't lose anything, but they have to understand it's the time for change. Accommodate yourself somewhere else. We are vetting everyone that none of these extreme conditions come into the Keshe Foundation. No organization is doing what the Keshe Foundation is doing. We have brought KGB into operation with us. We have brought CIA with us. We talk to Mossad. We talk to the Iranian national security. We talk to the Chinese security. We talk to everyone openly. It's become the platform for national securities because they trust. Because this time as a nation, we need to secure the whole humanity, not just a few. The figures are there. Publish it. Don't speculate. Exact figures. 25% in 1 month for the neighbor. That neighbor now has more to put food on the table for their children. Putting food on the children increases the workforce in the United States to produce more food. In producing more food, you create more jobs in the country for other industries. You feed each other, but the figures are staggering when they start coming in. In next 6 months, you will see the figures. When the first Keshe Foundation Maghreb units, universal feeding units hit the market in the United States, maybe next 2 months, then you understand what is going to be. My biggest problem is, can we meet the demand? This is why we're going to China to ask the Chinese government to support any shortfall, that we all go together. Africa, American, Chinese, Indians, we all move this time together, that we bring the change. Now we know the smallest nation in the world, what the mayhem has created for everyone, they're gone, they're finished. We have requested for, in our warrant, we can publish it as we done before, for the warrant for arrest of the king, ex-king. and the head of European Space Agency directorship. We are very open. Is sitting in the European Court of Justice, working very closely with Italian securities. The French are in it, the Americans have moved into it. Soon we will see. And this is not a new document. It's been sitting there for 2 years. Now it's going to be speeded up, because now with capturing the man in Utah, they know how they received so much false information from the guy who was supposed telling them, I'm sitting next to him, it's all false. Now you know why he is called the Red Circle, and how the misinformation was given credence. Because I'm next to him, he's nothing, you're just wasting your time. And then going across to Utah to create mayhem. Now we see how come Suzanne comes into the victim list of the Keshe Foundation. Who puts it there? My friend. We share children, now we share website. A person I've never met in my life now has become my victim. So you see how. Because the Red Skull says so, and they gives it credence. They are supporting each other. Peter Files have worked very well together. Now we have unfeathered the main station. But don't forget, she claims to be Iran national. We are negotiating with the Iranian government. She'll be judged in the Iranian court. It's very beautiful. Because we are one nation, you go back to the origin of your blood for your judgment. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. What is coming up, the governments as one nation accept the responsibility of their own people behavior in their own country, and the ones which don't do goes to the place where the claim is set. So we are doing all of us right. We become one family. We are working as one. We've seen the figures here. There are hundreds of figures across internet. People are proud to save money that they can feed their children. They are not afraid that they're going to get attacked. With their children, can I have the picture of your daughter? Sorry, Rick, can you put that up, please? We stand the force of it. You have a communication to the Keshe Foundation, which was sent to you, where Suzanne asked for the picture of the daughter, that people know how correct we are now. Interpol is running fast. Do you have it with you, please?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that is actually. It's maybe it was sent by messenger. Did Caroline send me that, or somebody else?
Yes, Caroline has sent it to you. You said you have it. She will send it to you again. Just wait 1 second. Then you see how Suzanne is operating with a false hope. And we don't say anything. It's the writing of one of the Keshe Foundation members who's been supporting false hope and put in touch with Suzanne. We call it Suzanne, it means the needle. Huh? And you will see there in the writing that she's asked for a child's picture. Because we have to do it. And then you understand it's exactly the same as the guy who pisses in the garden in front of the child. Is criminal in every sense, in every nation of the world except in Belgium. There's a question here. Please do not put any name anywhere. We do not want anything on our websites or on chats. Delete everything. We do not use names because we all know who they are. We're trying to find, have you found it, Caroline? We're going to send it to you. We're going to present it to you. Rick has it. I especially did this because we knew sooner or later we will receive the okay from CIA and the security services to go open with it. Because this time we got the gentleman in Utah, services are running very, very fast. We asked the Kingdom of Morocco to help us to bring these people into justice. They are Moroccan born, they have to go back to Morocco for sentencing. The attorney of the King of Morocco knows exactly what to do. You got it? Uh, uh, Rick, Caroline is sending it to you the way we received it. This was sent to us when we announced this last Tuesday, last Thursday, in respect to the red circle. People start flooding us with a lot of information about these people. Have you sent it? It's on which one? On the messengers. Yes. Okay, and read it. This is not from us. We are receiving a lot of communication. People, scientists who are asking. We make a correction. I made a mistake last time. You send, if you're a scientist or somebody who has evidence regarding these people, send it to security@keshefoundation.org. All the things you sent us automatically to our CIA will go back to the people who have worked with us and amongst us to see it through. We come back to you once we check your credibility. It's not allegation. Have you received it, Rick?
I think so. I'm not sure. Let me see. I'll copy it and I think
Yes,
this.
it starts with I want to puke.
I want to puke. Yes, right. I mean,
Okay. This is from the father, which Suzanne asked for a picture of his daughter. They realized suddenly what they were getting pulled into. Can you put it up and read it, please?
yeah, I'm just trying to get it recopied so I don't have it inside my all my desktop on and so on.
Okay. So what it is, please, you see these kind of things, we become vigilant to it, and now because we managed to get the top man, all the security forces are looking for their children and are protecting them. And this is one which has come to us and it's gone straight away to the securities. Can you read it, please?
Okay, just a second to get my. Gotta find my live stream. Mixer, which is missing here. Just a second. There it is. Okay, turn on the audio. There we go. And okay, it says this this actions makes me puke. You know, I founded too with some money, Suzanne, and I was in touch with her for some time. If you remember the episode in which I asked even to Shandor why he wasn't proceeding and sending her the documentation to come here. I wasn't able to detect her aim, but there was one thing that sounded very strange to me, and now I connect this with what you're saying. I remember that one time we were talking here on Facebook, she asked me to send her a picture of my daughter, and that made me feel a very uncomfortable sensation. Luckily, I didn't pass to her anything, and because she hasn't insisted on this anymore, I passed through. But now with this, I understand better. Thanks.
Now you see two things about Suzanne, and that is, we said to you that she was funded by the Keshe Foundation supporters, and she said she has to use her pension money. Now you see how devious these people are.
Yeah, I even sent her money as well.
So now you see, we pay, and they play such a pity me that we pay them to abuse our own children. Now you understand what's going on. It's in black and white.
She fooled pretty much many people, Mr. Keshe, because she contacted me at that time through Skype and started crying and said, you know, why is Caroline treating me like this? I cannot take my dog with me, even though it's therapeutic, what do you call it, therapist dog, whatever. And I, you know, I told her, listen, maybe you should get in touch, you know, directly. I had no clue at that time. I just.
Oh, she forced Caroline very heavy to bring the dog, because the dog is a psychological dog. They get the children to get interested in the dog, and then through the dog they kidnap the children. This is how the 5-year-old child was kidnapped in Spain and ended up in Belgium through Morocco. Interpol has had a full face. This lady is one of the biggest criminals known at the moment. FBI is right on top of her. The same officers who went for Utah are into this because the evidence is very heavy. If she has asked any of you for the picture of your children, please send it to security@keshefoundation.org. We send it straight away to FBI. This Suzanne and what do you call it, false hope are part of the same structure of the gentleman in Utah, because his name is connected on their Facebook to each other and well supported. You saw how Red Circle went immediately to the help of the guy in Utah, immediately after withdrawn my logo, and now immediately he brought her and put as one of the victims. Now you see how they operate. They are all well connected. The top man controlling everything sits in Antwerp. Please go to the address in Antwerp and ask for your children back. We give you so much evidence that these people will go for a run. We have filed, we have evidence enough in writing of the man when he confesses himself. Yes, I pissed, and writes a song about it. And to do everything else, they call us all sorts of names. We were called cuckoos because we didn't see. Now we are very intelligent people. Now you understand. Even the internet companies which are supporting you will go on the huge claim for them operating pedophile cases. Because now they're using these to attract more pedophile. It's the new name. If you go on any site which Red Circle writes in, your IP is gone. Your children's are for the bite for Suzanne. So please be careful. This is important. Please understand what is going on. Can we get deleted of this? I'm ashamed to put this on the website, but we know it is. It's a normal. Susan is everyone, and we don't accuse anybody, but we all know how the videos have come in. So what we go back on is, can you take it off, please, in sharing, Rick? People have seen enough of it. Shame on these people. And the biggest shame is they call themselves Iranian. Iranians love, adore children. These are not. She doesn't even carry an Iranian name. Shame. But the most important thing is, on her application into the foundation, she has written that she works for national securities. And now national securities are checking which national security she's spying for. If it's with the Red Circle, it ties up with a lot of children gone missing. I told you, when we go clean with each other openly, they are on the run. Now they are on the run. What is important is the fact that now we see the technology is paying off. The technology which you supported now is bringing the fruit for all of us. When I explained this technology years ago, one of the top ambassadors in the world, he said to me, Mehran, there is not enough money in the banks to pay for this technology. And you see why. One nation saves trillions. You usually paid 10 times the interest what you create. There is not enough money in the banks of the United States to pay me and you lot for what we have given them as a gift. We developed it together, we carry on developing it together, and in the coming time we all go to space together. But we had to teach. We had to bring enough that we carry enough that we can go to the next steps. Now we carry China, we carry United States, we carry Africa, we carry Australia, we carry South America. As one family, we're all working together. Let us change the course of the man to a peaceful man, then we open the door of the space. In the teaching on Tuesday, we have gone further. As we explained to you, Jackie explained to you how we have developed the technology with collaboration of number of people in the Keshe Foundation, Innovation and the Space Center to develop a new food system. Now you've seen how these magravs systems have helped in reducing the power because they create their own power, and it's a gradual increase. Now we learn together the next step. What we've done, what we call the universal feeding system, if like people like Robert, who made 10 or 12 different magrav systems, place your magrav system in such a position. These are each one stacker. One stacker to us is 3 layers, 3 coils, gravitational magnetic field. We put only 3 stackers, not 4 in this position. We put 3 stackers, not 4 in here. We put 3 stackers, not 4 in here. So now you have 3 stackers. You have 2 choices now. You can add a 4th one to make it a star formation, or you can leave it as 3. But now, out of the 3, don't forget, this is your base, the star formation. Now you need one on the top, which is the 4th. But you have to look and educate yourself to the next level of understanding. We had to put it on the top because of our mentality, it has to be. But if you look at this, the 4th can be anywhere. In a way, if I make it green, you understand it better. The 4th can be anywhere. Because all the system needs to do is to reposition itself in respect to the 4. You can move the 4 back and forth in every direction. But because the link is established, it's always in touch with. And the 4th is your brain, is the body of the man. The 4th is the existence of the truth, and in a way, it's you. All they need to do is to, if you're there, to adjust themselves that way. If you're there, to adjust themselves this way. But in fact, the energy doesn't change. And this is you. You're at home near your set. You're here in Washington, but because you connected it to your system in Zurich, you're still in connection you receive. So now you understand the new structure of connection with your system. But the beauty with this is, now you get collection of, you have to understand what this is. Let's say we use 4. You have 4 in 3-3-3 combination. Yes? Here you have again the same. You have to understand the 4th one is the interaction of creation of their own free energy. So you always get 4. But you have 4 times that. So you go 4 times a stacker unit here. You understand? So you can see the combination here, the combination here, the combination here, and then they create a combination, each one with each one. You more or less cover the full spectrum of the energy, gravitational magnetic field, from hydrogen to orange juice to plutonium to uranium, and the amount you need. So by setting up this structure, you have created a copy of every element which could be in energy level to man. Are there any mathematicians behind us? Do we have any mathematicians, or any of us can do a quick mathematical simulation for us to give us such a combination? And don't forget, each stacker of 3 which is in it itself, it has 3 coils. And don't forget, each coil has a gravitational magnetical too. So if I can just take this off and make a new one, you see what you have. You have, we go from the bottom up, you have 2 coils in each set, and each coil has its own, actually it goes to the power than this. You have, let's do it. Is there anyone mathematician? I've never been good in maths. You have 2 coils. Each coil has 2 pieces. And then you have to understand that you have two coils, gravitational magnetical, and then you have to add, you have 144 in the outer core, and you have 81 by 2 in the inner core. Both gravitational, because every loop creates its own field strength. Now you have 3 sets of this, and then you have 3 sets of that's in one stacker, and then you have 3 stackers in the set, and then you have 3 plus 1, you have 4 stacker, sorry, in the star formation, and then in each you have 4 free plasma units energy. If you remember, when we made the star formation, they created free plasma too. That's multiplication by 4. And now you have on top of this again 3 units of the same. Look at the multiplication of the energies, both gravitational and magnetical. Can one of you scientists give us a figure by next week? If you have mathematicians, understand the number of the turns in each coil counts, the number of inner core and outer core times 2 counts, and then you have the gravitational magnetic field counts, then you have 3 stackers on top of each other counts, then you have 3 stacker counts, and then you multiply. Give us a figure, what number does it make? And this is the number of combinations of the gravitational magnetic field, which the system, which was so simple, you saw with Jackie on Tuesday regarding the feeding, your system produces. That's why it covers the smell, the sensation, the feeling, the energy, everything. The minute in your brain you think of it, because it has a fingerprint on it, what that strength is, and what that food gives you. To you is a food. To you, you ate, let's say, a bag of chips. You go to a chip shop and you ask for a bag of chips. To you is a chip, but to your brain, everything in that chip is analyzed, what is going to give. Can you switch off, please? Somebody's command.
Instruction based upon
There is fat, there is salt, there is all sorts of combination of amino acid, different kind of sugar, different kind of fiber. You eat the chip, but your body breaks it up into every piece, what it can use it for, what and where it can use it. What the smell will give us energy, because you never understood even the smell is a path of energy you receive. The taste is the energy which you receive and has a strength. So now you understand your brain, in buying it, just putting a single piece of chips in your mouth, receives a lot of energies in different forms. And then if you look, why do you breathe amongst what you're eating? Because then balances with how much energy needs to go through the emotional side, through the lung, that matches with what is received by drinking it or by eating it. So now you understand, the brain, once you took a chip, knows this is the amount of energies it receives usually from a chip. So when you think about the chip, what we showed on Tuesday, that people think of a steak and they receive a steak, people wanted a pizza, they got the pizza. That information receives how much, which energy from which circle it needs, because they're all available in your system. And then that's why you taste and smell it. But don't forget, you still have forgotten something else in that equation. The gases you used, that's another factor. CuO, CO2, and the rest of it. So you see, with the Magrav system used as a universal energy system, which is the way we use in space, by thinking, because all the information is already embedded. This is what the chip gives me. You wanted the chip, you received everything from your own system. That's how the system feeds you, and that's why you feel you received it instantaneously, because magnetic field transfer is instantaneous, does not need digestion. So in a way, when we speak, and we spoke with Jackie, and we saw what they said, I can think of banana and I receive banana, because in your memory bank of the inner structure of emotion and physicality, when you say banana, it means I need calcium. Have you seen how you crave and you go and get milk, which means the emotion tell the physicality, I need these calcium and these kind of fats to be able to run the parts which they needed. I'm running short. That's why you crave for it. So when you think of orange, this is the energies which orange brings to the body. So the minute it thinks those trigger light comes on in the field of strength, automatically connects with your core. So you receive it. The combination is so much that everything is received. Even the taste and odor. Always I tell you, don't accept just because it's said, understand the science behind it, because I always say to my children, if you remember it, in an accident you forget, you can't. But if you understand it, you never forget it. Understand the science, understand the reason why, then you see how pleasurable it becomes to be part of it. Because then, as a layman, you contribute more than a professor, because you look at it without prejudice. This is important for all of us. If you're going to space, you have to understand what everything is involved, because in a space is you and me. I can lie to you for 3 days. After the 4th day, I'm open, because you can't go anywhere, lie anything else, and secondly, you can read my mind. So we clean the desk of all the mistakes of the past, we go to space, then we go with no mistakes. But we understand this time we have everything, we don't need to make mistakes. Understand, when we put these technologies on the table from now on, and I told you in past 2-3 weeks, we are going full blast in the space technology, because now you saw the matter, now you saw the GANs, now you've seen how it does, now you have the energy system that it tells you your bill reduces, now you trust there is something there, I can work, I can trust it, and in trusting it, now you can feed yourself. You might say, I wanted the orange, but I didn't feel it, so it didn't work. Maybe you wanted orange to see if you're still in control, but you received it. So we want to know those of you who start building these structures, because now we offer this unit, what we call universal feed system, which is 12 different design internally of a stacker for sale from next week. By next Friday, we offer it in the market, what we call universal feeding system. You can try it, find it, position it the way you like. They come as 12 units in one box. You receive a wacko box of it. We are trying to price it in the way that becomes affordable for a family or a street together to buy it. So, because when you buy a unit, all the neighbors can eat into it. So you do collective shopping, but you find out you might eat if you need, you might chew. There is a figure we are working on, something in the region of between 5 to 7,000 euro. We can drop it, we drop it. But this is a collective unit. We're trying to, and we have to get it, because the Magrav units already passed the system, is what do you call it, modification of the Magrav system. You don't need to plug it anywhere, because we set it up in the way we know it's got to be set up. So you just put the boxes around the house, because now everything does it. You need that unit to create that many. But in the future, then we tell you, most probably you can use it as a power supply, as a medicine supply, and we tell you how it works, because we are testing, we are developing, and you are part of the structure. So in the next few weeks, we will offer, in the next few couple of weeks, it takes us 30 days, 60 days accordingly to get it done the way we're doing it. We are a very slow people, but at least we hopefully got it right. You can buy a universal feeding system. And these are both for you understand that you buying it and testing it for rest of us to learn, because we have to see the scope of it, how far we can go. We have to modify some structures inside, and then we go to the next step, or we can keep the same structure and add to it. So the universal feed system will be offered, but it's very interesting what we done. As you know, last Tuesday when we opened this, the man who we put him in the front to be there on the firing line, Jackie showed us the system. He's doing it in the house. But what we done yesterday in the teachings of the Keshe Foundation, uh, more or less everyone volunteered to be part of the process, because Jackie is a student in the as a knowledge seeker in that group. One man refused to join the group, and we know why, but we can't say much, and that man is me. I refused to join the feeding system. I'll explain it last night, the reason why I refused in the night session which we had, and that's part of the reason. In a way, I have to stay till I see you all through, and then I know my way out. So what we done, we tested the system further last night, and I explained to the people who were in the, what I call on the dinner table, we call it, we're going to meet at dinner at 11 o'clock last night after the teaching. We went through the process, why some people see, why people don't understand, and they don't see. For those of you who want to understand more about this new universal feeding system, that you don't need to shop anymore, and we're going to put these systems in major hungry accidental positions, where in a disaster point everybody can eat from the same system. You receive the energy, you don't need to go hungry. You receive clean water because you receive it through the energy of the system. And in so many ways, the infections and everything else you can receive to overcome any illnesses. At least we can try. So in this process, in trying to do, we last night explained more for some of people who don't see, or have some people who see what the position is. Go back to the Tuesday teaching, the system is shown. If Jackie is there, Jackie, can you come back and teach us again and explain more? And now we have the 10 people in the innovation and the space team, which are connected with this system more or less without them wanting to. We have 36, or no, actually we have less than 36, because one or two of them are in the other group. We have something like 35 in the student group, who we went through the list one by one. We asked every individual, would you like to accept to receive, to use the energy system for the food? And they all confirmed, and we went through that. Nobody can say they did it without me. We received the consent of every single one. And then that's nearly 45, and then we have 5 people, 6 people present in the testing. That makes about 50 people. We have set up a 50 people group of people, how to get energy, food, and read their emotion. We are not looking for what they eat, because now that the system is set up, the system without wanting it, I just continuously takes what it needs. But we are monitoring what his body gives back out. We are looking for the excrement. We are looking for urination. Because at this moment, more or less, that's the only indication we have that the body is not using any more solid food. Matter state food or matter state air. So the process is very simple. We ask the state of emotion, and we ask for the what we call the residual. When you take enough energy from environment, the way we thought, we always said you take 80% of your energy from environment and 20% from the solid food you eat. Now you understand with this process, when you're taking 100% from the environment, with understanding the work of the new supply of energy, which is your Magrav universal feeding system, we will be monitoring if your urination or your excrement reduces. If you see you don't go to toilet or you don't go to for what I call urinating, then you understand that your body is transforming. And I inform and I tell you, you have the Magrav systems. If you go through this, has a responsibility. The responsibility is to you yourself, because once you start absorbing universal energy, your body will start mutating. In a way, what is not needed will be not used, but it won't rot away. The body has a habit to hold on in case it might change, or if the change is so rapid, it might shut it down because I don't need it anymore. So in this process, there are number of possibilities. When you enter and purchase or build these units, you can start losing your physical appetite, which is for eating. In that process, because you're not eating, but you're receiving all the energy you need, the body doesn't go in the commotion of what are called crisis. It finds a solution, but it doesn't need. We've seen this in our body. We have a couple of pieces which we don't see any function for it. We can take it out and nothing happens. Appendix is one, your tonsils is the other one. So as the body holds on to your intestines and into your liver and kidney and the rest, but having no function, it just runs them in the background with no use, zero operation. But as nothing comes in and can cause infection, your mouth will shut, because you're not taking anything in. The moisture does not allow the closure, and the voice will go. We will not speak, because now that this position has arrived, we'll speak through the parents, the controller, which is our emotion. So we start communicating, seeing each other, feeling each other, understanding whatever says without the voice. We see the true face of the man, the true emotion of the man. You cannot, as I said in my other teachings, you cannot say, my darling, I love you, when you already have another mistress. She's just a bed you have to say to get your food on your table, because you had your fun somewhere else. So this has become very important, and in that way we become transparent, we become correct, and in that process, when we go a step further in next 12 months, you will lose your lung, the use of your nostrils. Because now that the energy intake is from the environment, gradually the whole thing will go in a way that the emotion will follow the physicality and will go to the same energy level. You'll find out you do not need lungs to breathe. So you might keep the body for some time, same as it is, but you tap into the universal energy or into your feed structure system that it feeds you. In that process, we become detached from matter state inertia, because when we eat matter, we only operate through the matter and the GANs. As I explained in the other teaching, Earth has two attributes of fields. One is gravitational magnetic field. We call this gravitational fields and magnetic field. And one, this is created by the interaction of the plasmas. And the other one is from its state of matter state, which is the crust. So Earth is a combined gravitational magnetic field. Gravity of the plasma plus the inertia, which is this matter state. So in us not using any more matter state, and we rely on the energy from the plasma of the Earth, we become independent of the matter and we become part of the true plasma of the creation. So now in that position, we become man of space, because we have done with the matter state. In the holy books, they write it as detachment. This is the true beginning of the process of detachment from physicality. from physical life. So we become the man of space. This is what I said in the other teachings. For the first time, man is not going or does not go through the evolution, and because he has to, but now we decide to. We decide to live a correct life, not to eat another being, not to destroy another life. We call it apple or vegetables, because they're all living things. They all carry protein in it, so they have a life. They decide. We don't eat a lamb or a sheep because we decide. As I said in my teachings before, we never thought why there is man in such a turmoil of anger and animalness. Because our emotion hears and feels the emotion of the animal we ate, and it does not accept the behavior of the physicality to do such a thing. Now we don't consume. The physicality and emotion come in balance. Man become a peaceful creatures of the universe. Then, in that position, we open the door of heaven to man. The day of judgment is those who want to be abusers and stay and stick to the physicalities, and those who want to be correct and take the path of the universal energy form. This is what has been written in the holy books, the day of judgment. You judge yourself. There is no God and there is no court. And I said this before in the teachings. It's you who decides. You enter the spaceship because you build that spaceship the way you made the star formation. This is what you have to understand, what you're getting involved in when you enter a spaceship program. Is the decision of the man to dictate his own evolution and his own destiny. You become the judge of yourself. Do I want to stay as a man to abuse, still eat and murder? Or do I become man of peace, that I am transparent? The same as what we've done with the Keshe Foundation technologies. Everything is on the table, transparency. Now you understand. To be able to teach you, we had to live the life. We open everything. Everything is on the table. No technology has been, because the followers of the Prophet of the past follow the path of the Prophet. If he murdered, they became murderers. That's what we see with the Jewish path. Because Moses killed so many, to them is normal. Muhammad did the same, and we see that the followers, and the Christ, the same path of what he brought him to adultery, we see what's happening in Christianity. In this time, there is no mistake. In this time, it's clear transparency. It's you who decide your evolution and the path into space. And this time, you build the reactors. This time, you build the cores. This time, you want to buy the systems to be able to become a man of correct conduct, to become man of space. And when the time comes in the coming teachings, we show you how to take yourself into space. When the second sun appears, does not matter anymore, because you carry the true essence of creation with you into space, and you will not be there because it's your decision. So what is important to understand in what you hear from now, understand the principle behind it. Understand every coil you turn to make these coils and the cores, you made a decision of yourself to open the door of the universe to man, to yourself. As I always say, I guided you like a shepherd into the slaughterhouse of the universe, open free life. The only thing you slaughter is the misconduct of the past. You want to live a correct life, not to eat and consume anything else unless it's given to you as energy, which is a field, then you come to understand. You come to understand the correctness of the conduct is within the emotion of the man. You come to understand that the emotion dictates the behavior of the physicality. So when we speak about these things, when we speak about the process of the process of the change is for total humanity. And as I said, if you make as many as these units and give it as a gift, this year when you give a gift for New Year, for Ramadan, for Christmas, for whatever, a birthday, give a Magraph system to a person. This is a gift of life. Without them knowing, it will change their lives. Because the fields within the system interacts with theirs, and when they receive what they want, they lose their grief, they lose their sorrows, because you elevate the emotion of the man to the level of joy. If you remember in the teaching last week, I explained in a very simple way, and maybe you understand more now. If this is your main brain, and if this is your fear is closer, and if it's a joy, happiness is further out. So you reach to this level. That is giving unconditionally, because you know you will receive, that you have enough to give. Now you understand how the teachings are coming together. There are no prophets, there are no service stations, there are no churches, there are no mosques, there are no messengers, there are no supermarkets, there are no thieves in the open spaces of the universe. You are the judge of yourself according to the correct ethos of understanding. You only take when you need, and you only give when you don't have any need for what you have. But you find out that the more you give, the more you receive, because then you have more to give. Is a fantastic world of creation. And in time, when a number of you come together of the same ethos, the way 3 layers of the skin of the man created the man, the skin of the man, then you make your own spaceship. And the more of you joins into the understanding, the bigger the ship becomes. And even this is an interim stage. There is more to it afterwards, if you are knowledgeable and become just enough that you become part of the true universal community, which means you dictate the size of your own ship, and you dictate what you want to eat, because you tap into universal fields, not into the Magraph systems. But remember one thing, which was yesterday for the first time, last night, I explained to the team in the dinner table. At the dinner table, I did not attend, so they started it. I was a latecomer, as usual. French always come late, but I'm Iranian. We made a mistake somewhere. And the discussion goes, even yesterday in the teachings, in the private teachings, I said to people, you take what you like. They're all there eating what they wanted. They explained to us what they had is delicious, blah, blah. But this is the behavior of man. You give him the freedom, he takes everything. And it's still something wrong with you. But I said, one thing you have forgotten. Last night I explained why I did not join you in your, what do you call it, festivity of food in the classroom. Because you forgot the biggest point. And the biggest point is, how can I eat when I don't give? How can I receive when I have put nothing into it? Before you start eating, before you help yourself to it, you have to give. Take what I do not need, but I need enough to exist. And then the system takes what you want to give, and it gives back to you, because it knows what to give to feed you back. So instead of getting in a hurry and eat, next time feed first before you eat. This is the behavior of the mothers and parents. If you are a correct parent, you always serve your child first, and then you eat. It's the same behavior. If you care for the universal community, if you care for your environment you live in, you give first, and you see you receive so much that you don't even know how to handle. It's the story of a mother with 4 children. She had only 4 eggs sitting around the table, and the mother said, my children, I only had 4 eggs and I gave you everything, so enjoy it. And all of them says, oh no mom, you can't have half of ours. And she actually ate 2 and they ate half. It's the story of the universe. The more you give, she gave their love, they paid their back with physicality. Think before next time you are pulled in by me. Why is he giving it to us free? Is he testing us, or are we there to fail because of it? It's not for me, it's for you to judge yourself. I give you so much that you get drowned in the love of the Creator. Jackie, do you want to explain for the people who are not with us on Thursday, on Tuesday, about your system and what is developed since Tuesday?
Yes, sir. No problem. So, at the beginning, I'm part of the spaceship team, and we try to manage the star formation, and we work as a team to build the system. And one time you come to me and ask some questions, and I answered to you. And you said, okay, I will add the knowledge on this. And you start a new process to start to try feeding with the star formation system, like you explained before. And we try with the system. So you ask me to try to feel an orange, his taste, his smell, the texture, and all these kind of things. And I have it. Then I try with different perfume, smells, and different things. I can have it. Then you ask me to put some different emotions in the system. Joy, happiness, sadness, everything, and I can have all the emotions. Then you ask me to try to communicate with dead people, and I can have it. I can speak with these people. So after, you will see if we can manage to have other person can have the same result as me. So I invite 6 of my best friend, very confident to try and test the system. And the 5-6 people make an agreement to try this experience. And you make the same process as me with the 6 people, and the 6 people have exactly the same result as me. They can smell, they can eat, they can receive the energy from the system, they can have everything they want, a starter, a meat, dessert, they can have meat, they can have vegetables, fruits, chocolate, alcohol, water, like they want. And then we can make different experience with all these things. So we manage the experience for 5 days. Every evening we meet together and try to feed ourselves and give the result of the experience. So a lot of people reducing the consuming of food, like I think like 60-70%. For myself, I don't eat anything from 2 days, and 80% less of food in last 5 days. Then like you said in the teaching of yesterday for the 3 years program, we decided as a group, the 37 people, to try the experience. And the majority of the people can have the same result. See the food, smell the food, eat the food, take the energy of the food, and all these kind of things. And yesterday, something really strange happened with the system, because two people of the group of the beginning, the 6 person, have the same feeling that the system is less workable. And we think all the day regarding that, and evening you come with the solution. Because we all make mistakes. We all want to take of the system, and we feed, we take a lot of people, we take. But we only forget one thing. It's to give to the system, because the system can't give you anything if you can feed the system, you know. So all the night, all the team make a beautiful job to feed the system and to give some appreciation, love, and they feed a lot the system. So now the system is is fully functional again, because all the night all the team, make a beautiful job to feed and to give a lot. And now this is the system have a lot of resource, and we can feed anyone to want to take. We are here to serve the people who need feed from the system. And it's a beautiful experience. But what the important thing, it's really a group decision. At the beginning, it's for myself, then it's for 6 person, and then it's for 37 person who decided and make an agreement. If we start the process, we can make a step forward, We need to continue on the process, and it's not one decision, it's a group decision. It's very nice people, very dedicated to this, and now it's 45 people who decided to carry on this experience, and we become stronger and stronger, and every people play the game. It's really beautiful, And we are there for the people who need our help. We are ready to open the flow. The people can take what they want from the system, but after they need to understand what they are doing, Because if you take, you need to perhaps to give something. Perhaps it's open. We are there for people who want. So here's my experience and the experience of. So
Thank you
I
very
don't
much,
know.
Jackie.
You're very welcome, Mr.
We have started the process of making man, the man of space. And in so many ways, what is beautiful, we see in front of us the picture of the Earth, on planet. The 45, 50 people who are involved in this process are from across the planet. They are from Africa. We have a number of people from Canada, from the United States. We have people from China. We have people from Asia, we have people from Europe, and they're all in it. there is something like maybe 30 nations involved. In a way, there is one nation. 30 people from planet Earth are there involved. And once you start building these units, you will understand one thing. Because you built it with the purpose of peace, you will achieve peace. And as I said in my talk on Tuesday, if each one of you buy a unit or make a unit and donate one unit, in that process, very fast we cover the whole planet and we'll reach everyone, even the fish and the lion and the rest. The only problem is when we don't eat each other the way we've done, with our emotion creates a balance. That the numbers reaches a point, I'm not eating you. Do you mind lamb? I'm a lion, but I can't eat you anymore. If you go a bit more, there is no more room to live. Do you mind you lot slowing down a little bit? The same thing with the other animals. They will start accommodating each other because they don't need each other. The biggest problem will be, would it be enough place on this planet for all of us as creatures of this planet to live in peace amongst and between each other? This is not anymore dreams. This has become the reality. And as I said, it's our hand to change the future and change the evolution. I showed you the way you change energy to become free of energy. And I've shown you the way now you can change if you decide to leave this planet, to prepare yourself for change of the physicality, to become passenger of space by becoming independent of the matter state of this planet. This is where the process is going, and this is where we are destining for. In the next few weeks, you will see the first crafts, but it's no use getting into the crafts when you still carry the body of the man with a matter attachment. We don't ask you to change, you stay the same. But in a way, did you change when you wear the diving suit? Or did the man change when he wore the space suit? Now we wear the universal suit. But this time we don't need the camouflage of the suit, it's us, ourselves, which decides what to do, what to put on. If you learn this process in a radical way, you will find out that your body will react to the environment you arrive in according to the correct conduct. So you become the citizens of any planet on any point in this universe. Now you see, you were happy to go from Washington to Tehran. Now you go from a star to a star. Now you become the passengers of going from every corner of this universe to another. And don't forget, you were worried about the speed of light. In past few minutes you heard 37 people, they thought of chocolate or pizza or whatever, they received it instantaneously. This is a zero time travel, zero time essence of creation. And then where you want to be, you'll be instantaneously. You just learn to receive. Now when you learn to be detached from the physicality of matter state, the universe is your oyster. Which means if you don't understand English, it's all yours, take it. But be correct. You need no kings, you need no leaders. You don't need anyone to tell you you're wrong or right, because I can read your emotion, I can see your intention. And if you always carry a good intention, you don't see no colors and you become transparent as the universe. When you wear colors, which means you create problem, or you want something else to mark your territory, I look if that territory is good for me or if I want to be in that marking point. I made man in the image of myself. It's the first time man can see the true image of the Creator. Transparent. Read Quran, bless his name. Muhammad has written. God has 100 names. 99 is written in Quran. The 100th, they say, if they read it with sincerity from the beginning to the end, you will find the 100th one, and nobody has found it. And the 100th one is God Himself.
Mr. Kesh, maybe I can just read this that showed up in the chat here from Libby. She says, I asked the system to feed me love, and right after Tuesday's workshop ended, I had 2 surprise visitors show up at my door to give and receive love, and then 2 more friends showed up and had brought soup to share. Love is the most incredible nourishment we can offer each other. It's from Libby.
Please don't ask for something else. Because people receive the fields from your essence of creation, and it's when it's true, is received. And now that we know we can't lie, we can't deceive, we will receive to get to that point. So, in so many ways, our teaching hasn't finished. Our teaching has just started. To learn the language of universe, the conduct of the universe. We still make the nano coating, we still make the coils, we still make the reactors, because we have to teach 7 billion to behave correct, and that while we are making to them, there are trillions of them in the waters and in the seas and on the land. We still got to change their lives to understand they don't need to eat and kill each other. The love will flood this planet beyond man's imagination, because it'll be who can say, excuse me, Mr. Ant, can you move a little bit? I can't go. If you don't want, do you want me to put you on a planet somewhere? It's all yours. That I cannot kill you or hurt you. And you hear the language of the ant. Yes, I don't mind, because it might be nicer for me. The beauty with this technology is the knowledge of the Creator, if you understand it. And if you don't understand it, still want to be matter state, you object and find every way to object it or find an excuse not to do it. But in a way, there are so many people who have got fed up with the wars that soon, the way we are going and the system's going to manufacture, and when the system run, I always remember what Lisa said, our dearest friend from China. The Chinese scientists, where they put these reactors, they call it the happy room. Now you know they were first before even when we get to with the universal unit. Because they received the feeling, not the food. And now we feed what the man has been looking for, the food of the soul of the man. And you can even receive this with this system if you know how to position it. You can elevate your own souls with the same system if you understood all the teachings of the past. Any questions? No questions.
Pretty quiet crowd again here.
Pardon?
It's a pretty quiet crowd again here.
Because man now has become the judge of himself. Huh?
Mr. Kesh, this is Robert from Utah. I just wanted to add thank you to you yourself and your crew, Rick, everybody to help with that. And then Carolina as well. She does a lot of work in the background. You guys, I really respect and admire the way that you guys work. Very, very hard.
You know, there is
Also,
an old
saying.
they
sorry?
say there is an old say. They say behind every successful man there is a successful woman.
That's right. Also, on my own note, I just wanted to add that in the first workshops, I heard a lot about praying with your units, and I really think that it's important to kind of treat each one almost as a child and bring them up in a way as you're creating them, that you get out of them what you put in. And that's just kind of something that I took from the first workshops that I don't hear as much anymore about. I understand, but that's something that I thought was important.
What do you mean exactly?
Just to treat them, you know, if you put goodness into them when you're creating them, you're creating a new timeline for these devices after you've put them all together and everything together with them. And I just think it's important to start them on a good timeline. Maybe pray with them, whatever you do to connect to the one, you know, the spirit. Maybe do that with the stackers as well, and intend for them the same good stuff that you would want yourself.
I see something very interesting. Somebody has put in a figure of 85, nearly 86 billion combinations on what we just talked, and I think there's much more than that. I usually make 400, 600 million sets for different diseases. But why next week calculate, sit down and calculate and understand it, how it works as a, what I call a combination, and not as multiplication. It's an order of magnitude, not multiplication. Then you will see it'll come to thousands times more than what you have put there. If we get around 800, just about, just over, let's say 1 trillion combination of the fields from your system is just about right. Any other question?
Yes, Mr. Kesh, there's a question that's come up several times in the last couple of workshops regarding pacemakers. Candy has asked, can people with pacemakers feed from the system, and can they use the cup of life?
Yeah, the cup of life is you. I explained this on Tuesday. Please go back on the Tuesday international teaching. We thought a lot on Tuesday. The Tuesday teaching is the backbone of the new space technology. Listen to it, understand it, and then you'll go further with it. You got to understand how everything works. You got to understand how everything systematically connects. If you have a pacemaker, that's your heart. Maybe if you are within the vicinity of this system and the conduct and everything else which is correct, you might not even need a pacemaker in time to come. We had a very strange experience. We were with a doctor, don't mention his name, and we have given twice a cancer unit to a man who's already had a cancer, and he's returned it. When he returned it the second time, we looked at, and he said to me something else. He's a very nice friend of mine. He's proud to have him as a friend. It's a pleasure. He said, you know something, Mehran? Maybe he doesn't want to live. He's already decided we are pushing him. Because he said to the nurse when he brought the unit back, when I use it, I have no pain. Maybe he has decided that I want to give the life to another stage. It's us who decides. Most of our diseases are made. Maybe one of the ways to walk away from the cancers which we carry is to become man of space, because now when you close, you don't take anything, your mouth is shut, the body has to find a solution for what's inside, huh? Maybe if you have a cancer lump, it's a very good source of energy for a longer time, because it has to move, it has to change, it has to give. Would we do what I said? Man will accept this technology out of the fear of itself and not because of the beauty of it. Because you're afraid of dying, you go through the process, you become man of space, then internally everything's sorted, you don't have cancer. But now you have a bigger problem. The bigger problem is now you live for thousands of years. Once we have taken this food connection from the physicality of the man and they find peace between the physicality and the emotion, now what is to kill you? Nothing. You become immortal. All of you been looking, you want to live 200 years, I'm giving you 10 million years. Because then is you who decides if I want to give up, I had enough, or you want to stay in. So, those of you who are looking for cup of life and immortality, the cup of life and immortality is within you. You just missed it. You are the cup. And if you don't understand it, go and make a cup, put the orange on it, put other gases on it, and then taste the water, and you feel the taste of orange, the energy of the orange. As I said in the teaching, you yourself are 80% water. So why do you need anything else? Put the orange on top of your head, you absorb. If your emotion is correct, you receive it without eating it, then you don't harm no one. But now we made a bigger collection of a supermarket of energies, a hypermarket of energies with these stacker units. And then in the future, when I educate you further, you will understand that you can tap into the universal supermarket. Because this way, when you learn not to consume energy, this is what I told you from the beginning, when you see something else, you don't look at it if it's edible. It's not a sheep, it's not a cow. It's a life, it's an existence, and it has to be respected. As you know, when you meet says, do you have any surplus energy for me? I'm short of vitamin K and vitamin D. He says, do you have some shortage for me? I'm looking for bzz, 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 bzz. But your field fits into my busy busy. In my planet, busy busy is what I need. You give him busy busy and he gives you vitamin D and C and say goodbye. So now you understand why we're going through this process. And then the beauty of it is, once we come, and very fast we are coming to this point, does a king have more than the layman on the street because they have everything they want? And then would there a place for a seat of kingship? Or are we all the king of this planet because we care for it and we look after it? We finish with the kingship. Because we gave you everything for all to be the kings. Any other question?
Mr. Kesh, this is Klaus from Austria. I got a question to the health unit which you showed last week.
Yes.
And is it, I built something additionally, is it possible to share to start
Yes.
the video?
Yeah. Rick? Yes, go ahead. We are learning a lot from you. You are very, what do you call it, innovative people. Let me see, I have something on my screen.
So,
yes.
what's the aim was for?
Is that your portable unit?
Yes, this is the.
This one. I thought it was genius.
This was a try to address the single coils, the magnetical and the gravitational coils by cone connectors, and to make the whole system more modular. And this is a part which can be sticked into the helmet cups, and I was looking for a solution to connect the single wires without turning them always together, and this would be the solution of cone connectors, cone connections, which you can screw a bit in without hurting the nano layers, and you just have to screw it for half millimeter, and then it holds. And the question is, this is I would say a very electrically seen solution. Is there a change in the flow of plasma if I connect the coils like this?
No. But I'm going to put you another, I'm going to throw a stone in the water for you.
Okay.
You made your inner core and outer core fixed to the body. Yeah, that's their position. But do you know if you can, or you'll be able to twist and turn any of your coils back and forth, up and down? You can change the field, the strength much easier. And then you can target specific points in the brain of the man. At the moment, your coil is fixed to that position, correct? They can't, you glued it. I can see the glue there, yeah?
This is the coil for the helmet.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But if you can make the inner coil or outer coil adjust, because you haven't, you see, because you're still working in the world of matter state.
Yeah.
Let me explain to you something. I'm gonna, can you stop sharing? I show you what I mean.
Yes. Wait a bit.
Just press not to share and then I'll come back to you. Okay.
Now I
Okay.
found it. Okay.
Okay, we done that. Okay. What you got to see, you have your coil, this coil this way, and you have that coil this way in it. This coil now, because I told you, I teach you as we go further. This coil now, this one is fixed. You can, I'm just rotating this slightly this way. If your coil now is this shape, if you understand it, and this coil is positioned this shape. Now you can target which part of the brain, instead of generally covering a whole section, you can start pinpointing where you want to change. You understand? So now that you start building this, try to make it flexible, that it can twist and turn and hold in that position.
Okay.
It's very easy. So when you make the helmet, when, for example, you're targeting this part of the brain, now you, with your present system, when you do this, the field covers this. You understand?
Yeah.
And then you put another one there, it fields cover this, now you're working in this zone. Yeah? But if you can make one of these flexible the other way, you can literally pinpoint exactly where you want to work, which gives you more accuracy.
Which one of those coils should be flexible?
Depends, both can be. Depends what you're expecting, what you want to do. Are you giving or are you taking? Because then you can change, huh? And the other thing which you might understand easier, if you look at your coils, the double coils, which you do, try to be able, this is going more and more getting refining the thing, because you learn one, you're going to the next one, yeah? That you can control, this one, you can control the gravitational magnetic field of the plasma to each coil. That you can increase this or decrease this if you are trying to pull something out or you're trying to give to increase. If you are trying to get the cancer cell out, how does a cancer cell? You need the gravitational to be stronger than magnetical. Now you control it here. If you want to feed a cell is destroyed, you want to build it, you want to give it to you. So you reduce the energy in your magnetic gravitational and you increase magnetical. So if you are working, try to see if you can refine it much easier. in a way where I look at the top of your system, you have 4 plugs, you need actually 8 plugs, and then
Yeah.
you can change each one. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
This way you go much faster because now you control it, you directionalize it, you decide if it's a tumor, you take energy from it. If it's a damage, you try to build it, you give enough of it that it can take.
Mhm.
Because the body immediately knows if it's receiving or if it's taking. And then in that respect, when it receives, it allows nourishment. It's very simple.
Okay. Adding 4 more connectors wouldn't be the problem.
Yes, that's what I saw because you're making, I saw this, I'm monitoring what you're doing in the background, and it's beautiful what you as a team are doing. And I think it's for the German manufacturing team to get on with the Austrians and get this moving off the ground in a different way. We announced a lot of changes when we arrived in China. We already have reached a lot of understanding in what is going to be done in different countries and different organizations. We are trying to make a standby trip on the way to Philippines or back from China in Philippines, that we can meet with our innovation center people who are the backbone behind all these developments. And then we try, we know hopefully by the time we're back from China, we might open one of the biggest research centers in the space in Middle East. And I'm sure we receive the positive results very soon. And this will bring all the scientists, world scientists in plasma technology to develop these technologies very rapidly. You see, what I explained in all the teaching, I have thought in every level as I was explaining, that you, according to your own intelligence and understanding, to take what you are comfortable with. I haven't made it exclusive for one. I taught you the nanomaterials and the GANs that you take if you are happy to be happy to have enough energy just to live your normal life. I taught you the cores and the gas cores which we did with the Iranian government. If you're happy in that level, you go there. If you want to go further, you went to the GANs and then you went into the core where we saw the cores being made and tested. And then we went to the cores, and now we come to use of the interaction of the coils, understanding the core business, that you can go into feeding and into space. So whatever you like, there is something in there that you can attach yourself to be, but then you decide what to be. I know not many people will go for what is on the table at the moment, but a lot of people who want to live, not to lose their attachment or their loved ones, when they know that the cancer is imminent, they have so many long time, they will choose the option of the space feeding, because that way they want to guarantee that they stay with the loved ones. I've seen many people the last seconds or last weeks or months when they tell them you got so much to live, they do everything possible to find a solution. Maybe out of the fear of loss, man finds a solution in the path to the universe. Then we see if these people become truly, because they have no choice, they follow the way, but at least they find immortality to be with their children and their loved ones. It's very strange, I always told you. Man will accept this technology out of its beauty because it's so beautiful if you understand it, but they accept it out of fear of their own life. So when you make these systems like you made, you showed us, please understand, cover all possibilities, that you do not need to be in any other way. What is this system, please?
This is this is the same for the body part. This is the same trial to address the single coils, but also just with 4 connectors. But these connectors you see here are not coin connectors because I made it before, and this is the suggestion also to address the single coils at the body part of the health unit.
It's a very nice advancement. It's just beautiful the way you're operating. You have the German precision, as I call it. And it's beautiful to see.
Okay, thanks a lot. The only question was because the wires are in other directions and they are become more and more wires when we address the single coils. If there is any change in the flow of plasma, this was my only fear.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not at this level. Not
Okay.
at this level. Not at this level at all. Because the totality decides if it's going to give and get, not you by the turnings.
Okay. Then thanks a lot, and the next unit we will build more modular in this way.
Wait, you're not going anywhere. Thank you very much. Stop.
Okay.
How is the woman?
We started yesterday. She set up the helm the first time yesterday. We set the helm like like you told us in last Thursday. So the only thing we changed, we didn't use zinc the lead guns. We used salt water instead of it. Because it was our feeling that the lead guns isn't good for the lady.
Okay, that's we learn from you. We're all students.
And what we did, I don't have the helmet here because I'm not in the lab now. She had it on her head yesterday the first time. We addressed 3 coils, as you told us on last Thursday, and we only used the gravitational coils, and we connected to the coil which is directly above the tumor with the zinc, for which we use salt water. And we connected 2 batteries to the coils away from the tumor, and 1 with the coil which was directly above the tumor.
Okay, we'll see how we go. There are some developments from China which shows that the technology works very well for tumors. We hopefully do. I got to tell you one thing. The 2 or 3 weeks we are in China, the teaching will carry on the same time. We will not change. But this time we'll do it with the Chinese Keshe Foundation group. And we will try to keep to the same procedure. When we travel, we only keep to the Thursday's teaching, not the Tuesday teaching. You can do the workshop as Keshe Foundation group as you do, but on Thursdays we'll join you in the teaching sessions. So we keep the teaching sessions wherever we travel, and whenever we travel anywhere. We carry the system with us. So we join you from China, and if you are in other countries, it will be the same. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot to you.
Thank you very much. Any other question, or shall we call it day? We're going nearly 3 hours. We gave a lot of knowledge today. If those who understood it, you have become the man of the space as of this week.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is Candy Parker from Florida. I'm an acupuncture physician, and I have a couple of patients that have pacemakers, and I know I have to be very careful with them with the acupuncture. I thought I remember hearing you say that we couldn't use health patches or pens on them because of the electrons, or it might steal an electron or something from the pacemakers.
You can use the plasma systems, there's no problem.
Oh, good. Thank you. And another thing is I want to put the patches underneath the sheet on the table where I'm treating them.
No, that is the plasma. The system, the Maghreb systems you can use. The patches you can't.
What about the cup of life? Can they drink from the cup of life with GANs in it?
Give them the machine. It'll be easier.
Okay, but so they cannot.
You see, one of the ways I found out with all the health people is when you especially have a pacemaker or you have a condition like a heart condition, take this system near to their heart. Don't put it on it. They tell you if they feel it or not. Then you know if you're interfering with it or not. You understand?
Yes.
If you, for example, take the patch near the heart, they tell you my heart is going faster or whatever, you know you interfere, then you stay out of it.
Now, with the cup of life, I know that there's some different ways of making it, but it does have some GANs in it. What if there was just the nano-coated copper? Would that be enough for them
It's
to
the
drink?
same, but if you put water by accident, it's got some salt in it, it becomes GANS based.
Okay.
The best way to use a cup of life if you're giving to someone is put a glass. Or what I used to do is just give them, you know, these 330 ml water bottles, drinking bottles.
Yes.
I find that is the best thing to put in the cup. And they
And they,
just take it out, they drink it, and they put it back in again.
oh, okay.
So you can use one cup for many people because they bring their own bottles.
How long does it take to charge the water or change the water?
How long? There's no charging. You transfer plasma, and if you listen to the teaching from this morning and Tuesday, the minute they felt they want the ice cream, they had the ice cream. You think the water is any different?
Okay, I get it now. I did listen to the teaching. I did. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Mr. Kesh, there's a question from Dennis that you wanted to have brought up regarding his question. He wanted to know what we could give our self-made MagGraph system to help it evolve the way that it wants to evolve, rather than what we expect from it. In other words, help it to become what it wants to be.
I think we answered that in earlier part. Before you start taking from it, give to it what you don't need. This means when this is the part which we never discussed, that you have to, if you give, you receive. That so when if you understand this from the early part teaching this morning, you understand that you give, and then the system gives what you need. Because when you give, the system sees I have these are the ones I don't have or I don't need. So you give some, you get back because you're already satisfied what is short of. You receive what is not short of. So that's why you receive it, because it's there. So if you understand it, is that you give and then you receive. You don't take and go to the table and say there it is. There is nothing on the table if you don't bring something on it for the others to share. And this is where the change is, where the difference will come. The system will change according to what you want, because you are the creator of it. Any other question?
Mr. Cash?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yes, hello Mr. Cash. My name is Mohsen. I am from United States of America, California, San Jose, California. I am an Iranian man, and I just want to tell you that I am proud student of Kashi Foundation for the last 2 years. And I celebrated my 2 years student of the Kashi a few days ago. I want to tell you that as an Iranian American, I am proud to have you as my master and the teacher. I want to thank you for all the humanitarian ideas that you have for the whole world. And I'd like to be the first Iranian student to thank you in Farsi language, if I may, please.
Go ahead.
آقای کشی، با سلام و تشکر از همه عقاید انسان دوستانه‌ای که شما دارید میخواستم به عنوان یک ایرانی از شما تشکر کنم و افتخار کنم از اینکه اولین نفری باشم که واقعا به زبان فارسی با شما صحبت کنم، هرچند که من حدود 35 ساله در آمریکا زندگی میکنم ولی میخواستم اولین نفری باشم که واقعا با شما شخصا صحبت کنم. در این حال میخوام بگم که من حدود 20 ساله که در بی ایریا زندگی میکنم، شهر سنوزه، و این شهر خیلی نزدیکه به تمام کورپوریشن هایی که الکترونیک کورپوریشن هایی که اینجا هستن و من با تعداد زیادی از کورپوریشن هاشون کار کردم. میدونم که کورپوریشن هایی مثل اپل حتما با شما تماس گرفتن و من میخواستم فقط تجربه خودم رو به شما آفر کنم که اگه من کاری از دستم برمیاد، خونه من هم به شما هم به تمام افرادی که شما معرفی کنید تعلق داره. من در حدود 20 دقیقه درایو با تمام این کمپانی‌ها فاصله دارم و به هر حال تمام اختیارات من در خدمت شماست.
متشکرم، خیلی ممنون.
خیلی متشکرم.
باعث افتخار که ایرانی باشید.
دقیقا این شکلیه و آقای توکل میخوام خدمتتون بگم که من تمام مراحل کارهای شما رو فالو میکنم و اگه اجازه بدین یک سوال دارم که میخوام اگه امکان داره با تمام بینندگان شما من شیر کنم و اگه اجازه بدین انگلیسی صحبت کنم. I want to thank you again for everything, Mr. Kashi, but I just have a question and I like to have your opinion, but I'm sure you have already experienced this. What I did at the time that I was making my GANs, I used certain frequency. I actually have a device that I was tuning my guitar, my electronic guitar. So I just simply left that device right next to the container where I was making my GANs. And the GANs that I was making, my purpose was for health and helping other people. The thing is that my pain pen, to me, it is very strong, and it definitely has a different effect. I personally used it, and I feel ice cold feeling when I use it. I use it on my knee. I had some knee problem. And it is very amazing that using frequency made any difference. Did I make any kind of a infinity loop? I call it second infinity loop on the GANs.
Almost probably what you've done, you connected the GANs to the matter state. This is something which we as human beings receive as music. Why we are attached to music and we all love, doesn't matter what it is, because we eat food to connect with our physicality. We breathe air because it connects to our, what do you call it, feeling of our emotion. Sound and the music is another structure which is non-tangible, and it connects to our plasma. That's why we all enjoy music. It's another way of receiving energy. So what you've done exactly that as we do with the human body. You transfer the matter state, which is noise of it, into the plasma of the man. And that's why it does work that way. You understand? is another level of the noise, or what we call music, vibration. It doesn't matter how we create it, because it cannot be eaten or bred in, but it still it has a strength. It gets attached to or used by the, what you call, the Gans body of the man. This is what I say, this is part of the uh, energy absorption of our body, which man has never understood. Music is what you call the feed, because it's a matter state vibration of the element to the plasmatic condition when it converts back in. But because it's in a strength of a plasma itself, because it has no matter strength, is goes to us directly. We receive it in our Gans state very quickly. This is why, if you remember, when I speak about the Alzheimer's, especially, is because we understand this. Why music or vibration is so important. And we ask them, the only question we ask them is, do you or can you sing a tune, a music? Because if they have done or they can do, it means they are still connected to the creation of the physicality. But without them knowing, we open the channel. This is why it's like we say, if you eat banana, are you allergic to it? We say yes or no. If you say you eat the air, you breathe the air which has got a bad moisture, you cough. Music is the same thing, but it's a food, it's an energy transfer for the body of the man, which still touches the same as the food you eat or the banana you eat. You remember the taste of the banana, what you need for it. This is why we go for a specific musics in a specific structure of the emotion. If we are happy, we go for certain things. And then we see the cultures go the same way. The cultures, according to the music, states the condition of their emotion. We see with the youth how the culture across the world is becoming one. More or less the new generation are the first generation of man which already become one planet people, because they share all the same music. So, but music is more effective, direct energy to the gans than is the food or the air. So what you've done, you transferred part of the physicality of the gans used on your pen, which means directly receives. It depends what that music does to you when you tuned it. Do you find happiness, or do you give forgiveness, or do you find pleasure with it? You have to understand what that tuning was to do with your physicality, because you got a GANs on your copper wire, which is in a layer you don't see because you think it's only nanomaterial. So you have created that condition. According to what that condition gives you the emotion, you have to see, repeat the, what do you call it, the vibration you had in your tuner, and then change it to a music and see what that music gives you. And that music, whatever it gives you, is the feeling you had on your leg. Connection between the music and the Gans state of matter we never speak about, because it's a very, very delicate. Because you can use it to add. You don't change, but you add to it. Some of the viruses in the universe come in the form of music, in the form of noise. And these are extremely, extremely hard to release. There are viruses that are literally noise viruses. It's unknown on this planet, but in a space you come across it. It's, which is they add the energy exactly like virus to the GANs of the amino acid. And then finding it is God's help. Because it's undetectable, and then you have to find the level of noise. And then you have to find out in what way has attached itself to it. There's a way you can do, reverse it, but that is, it needs a special technique. You got to it within yourself. You have to find out where it's come, where it sits. These noises, then they go into your body, and it's horrendous if it's not done, because you absorb it in a way which is already digested form. And this is one of the biggest problems in the space, what I call viruses, space viruses. The noise virus is the worst one. It's one of the worst ones for any creature, not just man. Thank you very much for your time. Any other question? We have, let me explain. We have a gentleman with us in our, what do you call it, 1-year course, Mr. Akhavan. We have a lot of fun with him regarding the poetry of the Farsi and how he applies in the space technology. He is from state too. Carry on, please. Any other question, or we call it today?
Seems like you might want to call it a day here, Mr. Kesh. I mean, we could go on probably forever as far as that goes, literally. But let me see if there's anything significant here. There's one person wanted to know if the system, will the feeding device help to stop smoking?
If it's your desire, you ask for a smoke, you receive it, then you don't need it. Yes, it does.
Certainly, Douglas has results on using his health cup for, it's helped him to stop smoking.
Yeah, well, it depends what you do. We've done drug addiction is under investigation the same way. We are using the pen which was sent to us by Armin in the state. Armin, I just remembered yesterday, last night in bed, that I forgot to send you the what you call the payment for your shipping. I do apologize. I just so much going on in my head that I just remembered. So that the 2 pens you sent us here, they're on the observation. They are going through the what do you call it? One is getting used for drug addiction, and one is getting used for diabetic. And we are waiting for the French and Americans to report their finding. But because we had 2, we agreed with the French and Americans that they do the diabetic. We do all diabetic. We come back most of the next 2-3 weeks. But now we use one of the pens you sent us for drug addiction. We give you a full result. It's done by doctors. It's not just manually. We are taking tests, blood tests, everything on regular basis and monitoring. You can do in so many ways. Use these things for, even if you're addicted to medicine, to certain medicines. You try to understand using the system that you receive it without actually itself, and then you decide, I don't want to have it, and the body will find its parallel system for it. The addictions, any kind of addictions, is reversible now. It's you who have to really want it to do it through your emotional part. Any other question? Shall we call it a day?
Sorry, Mr. Cash, this is Sylvester. That's just one quick question. I'm receiving so many interest from medical experts who would like to participate in our plasma healing center. What will be the proper communication channel?
You have, when we are ready, we announced this before, we put medical@keshefoundation.org, and then we already have we have appointed a Iranian doctor of well-known reputation in the Middle East to head the Keshe Foundation medical, and then they will decide what to do. He's a very well-known internationally doctor. We know him from the work on the Keshe Foundation, and I have already asked him to head the Keshe Foundation Medicine Health hospital, which we hopefully have in our possession soon, and then they will invite you in. The
Thank
process
you.
is ongoing. We have a lot of options. We know there are a lot of doctors who want to do, allow us to do. Most probably, we come to an agreement with the Chinese government to open one of the biggest health centers in China for
Yes.
research and development of new technology. We know they already have a center for this work. They are doing work on the background of this partially and totally, some cases of using our technology. So in the next 4 or 6 weeks, we make a lot of announcements. Let us come back from China. Don't forget the Dubai conference is still on. You got to make your booking as fast as possible. We have reduced the numbers drastically for security reasons, and by advice of our securities, we have relocated the hotel. The hotel has moved to a new but very safe, one of the most top prestigious hotels in Dubai. If you came here just to be in what I call Atlantis Hotel, you want a refund, we refund you, we have no problem. But if you can, if you're coming to be as part of the change in One Planet One World conference, we have still put you in one of the most beautiful hotels without with the full security, which does not put us in danger, because the Red Circle and his entourage in Germany were planning funny things, and we have found out what they're up to. This guy would not give up. So you still can go to the Keshe Foundation website and please make your booking, because very soon we close the booking.
How do people get confirmation of their booking and so on? Some people are asking.
If you have not received the, what do you call it, anything that is something wrong, you're okay. If we see something wrong, we come back to the security team in the background, headed by Brad, is responsible for it. They're working on it. Don't forget, the security's got a lot of things, works going in. This the student, new student with €100. We have the manufacturers, we have the foundations, we have the conference, and then in the coming time we have a lot of other things which are adding on. They are working, they're checking the what do you call it, is the job of Brad, who heads the security of the Keshe Foundation, with the help with the other national securities and other people. We get in different directions. The
Is there any
foundation
more information about the flights?
go to the website, the connection there, you get your flight. But if you need advice or help, we had the guy with us yesterday, says he hasn't received many. The email is on the website. Get in touch with them if you can't organize your flight. We very soon will close the numbers down, because now we've gone into the €750 per person, and the hotel are very, very limited, because we are monitoring. It's not an easy job to do. The security is paramount for us, and we have moved for this reason the what do you call it, the presentation, the two presentations, into one of the most beautiful hotels again in Dubai. There are so many. Life here is different than what we knew, and I don't wish, but if we would have come here some years ago, we most probably would have a different direction to the Keshe Foundation. But we are very highly security conscious, and we have brought in detectors from the national offices, any chemical detectors, everything is available here. We are not leaving any holes open in any shape or form. We work directly, we inform directly, and the security will be at highest level, even worse than we ever seen ourselves. This is for you lot, not for us, and we know these people don't go down with just kicking, so we are watching for their kicks. We moved the hotel from Atlantis to another destination within the Dubai city, extremely beautiful, extremely tranquil, and everything is signed, and we thank the offices of Atlantis Hotel for collaboration and allowing us to move so late in the position of the hotel. Any other question? Just book your ticket. If you can't find it, go to the link which we have given, and they respond to you immediately. They told us how many received. They've received 2-3 inquiries from Philippines, from Thailand, from China, from United States, and they debriefed us yesterday. Anybody who has, and if you don't get a response, it means your email has gone somewhere astray. Repeat it again, they respond to you. They put a team to support this. And then we use the Dubai as the center for all our conferences from now on, the way we set it up, because we can control a lot of traffic. That is not the same with other countries. Send one to webmaster at Keshe Foundation. We pass it on to them, but they tell us from they even use they check their, what do you call it, their spam box. They said there were 2 in the spam box. They put a team to support this event. They run the whole event for us. Yeah. It's just there because they know the cheapest flights. You can do it yourself. There is no exclusivity. But we limit the numbers very quickly because we moved from Atlantis for security reasons. So we made a lot of changes, but it stays the way it is. Don't forget that we arrive in China hopefully on 25th of March, and we are in China till the 11th of February. This is what the plan is, and there are a number of events have been set up by the group who's invited us to China, and I've heard they've come up with a genius way to sell tickets for presentations. When I saw it, I could not believe it how they've done it. They are following a national policy. If it is correct, they are following the leadership orders of national policy of the science in conjunction with the government and private section. And it's beautiful what they've done. We explain to it when we know it's 100% done, then you understand it's the most genius way I've seen to organize a conference. And at the same time, everybody who joins the conference has become part of the owner of the, what you call it, Keshe Foundation manufacturing. It's amazing what they've done. Let us see when it comes. Lisa wrote to me recently, and I'm just going to watch to see if it's done. What do you mean?
Well,
The venue, the Dubai conference still stays in Dubai, but we have moved out of Atlantis Hotel for security reasons. We moved the conference to another location, another hotel where it is more secure, but it's as beautiful as Atlantis. If you're coming here to go to Atlantis and you don't, and what do you call it, the conference was something on the side, we refund you. But if you're coming to the conference, to come to Dubai for the conference, you can still stay in the same, what do you call it, we've taken the venue and the hotel accommodation to another location due to security. So the conference is going still the same, but in a different location, because these, what I call red circles, they're doing the last kick. They literally brought and they showed us what they're up to in the background from security. We have moved. You come to Dubai 3 days before your arrival, because it's not very far. It's only 4 or 5 kilometers from the Atlantis Hotel. You will be notified of the address. We are putting buses in order to pick you up if you come in a mass, large numbers together, that we accommodate for your arrival to the hotel. And they call it one of the most beautiful hotels in the Middle East, the people who've been there. But we don't announce where and how, because this is what decision we've been told to keep it. The rooms are, what do you call it, already, everything is done. And the only difference is that we protect our people the way we done from the Peter Files. The conference is the same. You start on 8 o'clock on 21st of April. We go till 1:30 with the procedures. From 2 till 5 or 6 o'clock, the lunch and the presentation that you can show your systems. And then we get to start the second session with choosing the members of the Universal Council on, what they call it, Friday the 22nd till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock we finish. and in the afternoon is again for lunch and understanding more what the position is with the Universal Council and the rest, which we'll meet with them and we'll structure the planning of the running of the Universal Council, and the rest of us will be part of the being and sharing more knowledge. Bring all the equipments, any system you build, bring it with you. Knowledge, bring us the knowledge. We have given you a beautiful outside balcony where you can freely work and show, and we have made sure it's not the repetition. The first day lunch is in a gorgeous, beautiful part of the restaurant, and the second day we take you to more beautiful part of the restaurant. It's one of those hotels that it has a theme, what do you call it, restaurant. It's about near the Dubai city, so you will enjoy it. It's pleasure, and hopefully for those who paid for the gala dinner, there is a gala organized for you. It is done in immaculate condition, but we had to bring this insanity. Our openness, they thought they can use as weakness, but in fact, the number of the emails they got, these Germans and the Belgians into the Middle Eastern police and everything to call us terrorists. They said, if it is, how come? And then when they start looking, we are working with the government. Now we got the addresses of all of you. Now you actually gave us all you do. Your mistakes are giving us a lot of information. Very soon it'll be knock on your door. You made a threat. You have to stand by it. The one who pisses in the garden now has to say if he's done the same thing with the other children, his own daughters. They are the biggest question. And what we are receiving from Utah, it seems to be the same. Man, you couldn't keep your hands off your own daughters. How come the other children? Go to Antwerp, ask for your children. Sorry to do that. We had a beautiful session today. We learned a lot.
Mr. Kesh, I'd like to read one thing that it relates to children, but it's good news. It's from Carolina. It says someone has sent a message to her. It says, Carolina, I have good news. My daughter called me just now. She is 6 years old and tells me, Papa, Papa, I can say a new word now. I said to her, okay, tell me. And she says, I can now say Kesh Foundation. So that's a nice way to end things, I think.
This is fantastic. We are here to protect the children of man, not to allow man to abuse our children. But the beauty is now at least becoming man of a space. And hopefully in a space, we see them because of who they are through their emotion. What we learned today is the beginning of a evolution where we have control, and at the same time, till that evolution comes, we've shown our governments how much is the peace, the true peace dividend is with the new technology. It's huge. The Keshe Foundation is not me anymore. The Keshe Foundation is you. Let us see what will change. Thank you very much for today, and we'll see you next Tuesday afternoon. And as I said, make sure that you protect your cameras and your children. We are very innocent compared to these charlatans. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kesh. And that'll end our 104th Knowledge Seekers workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And once again, as in the last 103 workshops, thank you everybody for attending.